I want to go over the super chats here that we've got. We've got to make sure we check on them. Walter Ford, can you check on Bull? Yeah, we've been looking at Bull, and you can see it reject here. We'll run through this quickly before we send it off. It rejected this level that we had marked out from the daily, and then now heading back towards the south side. So just be patient before you look for any form of continuation on that one. But yeah, a big-time move there in Weebull. And then this is the type of community we live in here. Hypercube, I think he's seen what somebody in the chat said. He said, man, I wish I could oh, there it is, Brian H. I wish I could donate to you guys. You make my day. And then Hypercube goes, here you go, Brian.
Whoa.
Those are, like, if you want to talk about being a good person, that honestly speaks volume. I don't even know you, Hypercube. But the fact that you even did that and you seen what somebody else was asking for and you kind of just answered their, I'm not going to say it's a prayer, but you just paid it forward. And that speaks volume as what type of person you are. Yeah, I don't even know you personally.
It's an easy name to remember too.
Hypercube.
So, Hypercube.
Yeah,
so
there you
appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 in the bank here, Joey, eh?
Yeah, we did. Well, I'm done banking now. I don't bank.
You're done banking?
Yeah, I don't bank anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right, guys, MLGO is breaking out. Watch out, here we go. MLGO on the warpath to the high side. We're going to Adara. She's got more news, and then the big boys are taking over. Peace.
Chicken fajitas.
Yeah, I have FOMC minutes here. Basically, the key thing, they're saying that several participants are saying the Fed's fund rate may not be that far above its neutral rate. Apparently, most participants did see a persistent tariff impact on inflation. We also had apparently all participants viewing it as appropriate to maintain the Fed's fund rate at the future target range. So again, it looks like they were all united in their decision. But yeah, just keep in mind, tariff inflation apparently still viewed as a risk. There's also on July rate cuts, because we know that's been on watch. There was some commentary on that. Apparently, a few participants, or a couple of participants, to quote the meeting, said they would be open to considering a rate cut as soon as the July meeting, as the data evolved as they expected. Now, we know what 2 participants those are, likely based on comments, likely Feds Waller and Feds Bowman, the 2 Fed participants who have actually said they're open to a July rate cut. But either way, it sounds like a couple are open to that July rate cut. Most are apparently down for September. Apparently, though, they did see higher real GDP growth for 2025 than in the previous forecast. And inflation, they're expected to be a little bit lower. So mixed data there. Mixed, I guess, sentiment from the Fed meeting. We're going to send you over to the Big Kahunas, as they are called.
Big Kahunas, all right.
Big Kahuna Burgers.
Lunchtime was going. Oh yeah, Big Kahuna Burgers.
Look, Google.
I heard some shit happen.
Google was intense. I got the worst wick that you can possibly imagine.
That always happens.
No, it is what it is. Like, it's weird because it doesn't. This will not look like a flat trade, but like it actually worked out to a flat trade. OpenAI, which I think we knew.
Yes, we did know that. That was the reason why we sold.
I just, yeah, it was.
Not rocket science.
I don't know. I sold some Google to get into some Meta. I kind of stand by that. That being said, this is what happened. You can see the heavy move to the downside on Google. It went right to yesterday's low, started to bounce, regained 173. So if you know my story in bottoming tail wicks, if it does that, go long into 170, go long when it retakes it. But then it did like one last liquidity grab underneath after it was going. It's like it went down, gave the recovery, and then just as it's about to go, you know that scene in any horror film where you're like, yeah, they're dead. And you don't worry about it. Then the good guy stands over or whatever, and just like you don't double tap, and then all of a sudden it's like ha ha ha, we're still alive, and we go at you, and
That was an aggressive ha ha ha.
No, it's one of those. It's silly. It's like an old trope, but that's what they did on that liquidity grab. Is it seemed like it was making the bounce. You could see the volume coming in off of 173, and then just as you're like, yeah, it's going. This is where you add. It did one last swipe, and it wasn't dead. So ultimately. Yeah, but what the real story here is, in a situation like that, if you kind of feel like if it's overdone, just zoom out. Like if you don't know where to buy, because who the heck, I don't know, whatever. Like it just zoom out, and it was yesterday's low. Like there was nothing rocket science about worrying. You try to take it. It also happened to be the 200 period moving average on the daily, which I think is going to be a really key hold for these guys. The other thing I'm tracking right now, I have to go over to Palantir.
Fabian.
Because there was a bit of a missed opportunity for myself in Palantir as I was trading Google. I kind of took out the long in Palantir, and I think this one's going to go. It's up 1%. The market's at VWAP, and this thing's literally breaking through the highs of the day. So I want to jump back into this break. We're talking about this in the middle.
Andre, tell Fabian to come over here for a second.
All good?
Yeah, no, I know. Everything's fine. I had to restart my thing.
Oh, I was looking over. I'm like, where's your screen?
Yeah, no, it's all good. I just need to ask him something because I have a problem here with the software.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
I just wanted, there's a question here.
Now.
I have not,
My cursor.
Big Bees?
Here.
Good one.
On this
Reddit, I have not looked at Reddit in a while. And to be honest, and we'll talk about some of the other stories, the story going on with Amazon, I just feel like Reddit, I'm more excited for Discord than I am Reddit. I don't use Reddit as much as I used to. I think what you have going is a good, nice relief rally after getting dumped. But it's like, it's a dump move down and a slow move up, as opposed to like some of the sharp V shapes that we've seen. Like the best stocks have been doing like sharp V-shaped recovery since that April low. And the things that are doing the slow crawl, I'm not as huge a fan of unless I like the business or something. And I think Reddit kind of falls into that category. I get it. Like a lot of people still use it, and they got a lot of valuable data as well. Maybe look at prior resistance here at 140 to try and hold on this pullback or the 200 period. But it's just one of those stocks I'm not a huge fan of. Like I look at here's an example. You know, like the down move, probably similar into the April lows and say like a Robinhood. Not that they're related, but so many stocks have this like distinctly different shape and slope after they caught the bid on those April lows. And some of them you can just tell where the big money is trying to go. And yeah, I don't feel like it's in Reddit right now. There's just a lot of other names which are a little bit more exciting. See, we'll keep trying to get rid of this spammer that's in there in the chat. Thank you. I think it's Ramin or Fabian.
Now that I'm here, well, we can all ban.
We're just all going to keep banning that person.
Yeah, just real quickly right here, you know, and I came on the Midday show and was only here for a couple seconds and might have, and I don't know, like I said to Sharif, these guys are putting up a great show and all the time, but I just came in and I hope dropped a little bit of a trade idea to many of you there, because there it goes, man, right off the sticky note again. $500 came right into play there again in Microsoft. So we took the long right there, and now boom goes a dynamite there for softies. So we're just long again that trade right there. So a lot of you have been asking, where can you find my trades and everything during the midday, or Neil's or everybody's, or even the boys when they're not on air. We don't have that second stream up anymore. I looked for it, I didn't see it. So we're working on other things. We will most likely get that back going, but pretty soon it's going to be all of us hopefully trading, and you'll be able to see us at all times. So that's the idea. But right now we are sitting in again. Yeah, it's a $2 winner, man. It's just it's from here. We'll wait to see where it goes. Again, Microsoft. It's still going to be SMCI though, because we were able to reload. Click on SMCI right there. We were able to reload that short right there as well, and as that bled through, good trading there on SMCI all the way to the downside. So this is going to be my P&L number 1, but that doesn't matter. These are just 3 trades. I've only made 3 trades today. Microsoft, which is in, Nvidia, which is silly, man. We should have, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not really going up, so who cares? And then SMCI. But all right, Niels and Palantir, one of my favorites. You know, we bought that stock at 131 on that day where we were watching the show, and it was just tanking there at 350 on the rebalance. We were able to pick something up at 131 on that one, so that's a good trade there. We like Palantir as the market back up 0.43. All right, exciting so far. Let's go find out which names you wanted us to look at.
Welcome, everyone, to the market, or to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are locked and they're loaded and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there, join Joseph and I on the Midday Show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers. Super easy to vote now. $, your 3, 4, or 5 letter ticker. Let's look at the 4 major averages before we get into the rundown. The NQ nicely green on the day, up 0.5%. The Russell also up nicely. The Russell continues to outperform, guys, up 0.9, a little shy of that 1% area. The ES a little bit less than 0.5%, up 0.42 on the day. And the lagging major average, the Dow Jones, up a little over 0.33%. Let's start with the first name as decided by you guys. $4 trillion company now above is Nvidia, taking it to all-time highs. It's off the high of the day, up 1 3/4. A couple of different reasons for that, one of which Jensen Huang plans to go back to Beijing, guys, and they will look to announce a possible new chip here made specifically for China, reports the Financial Times.
Yeah, so what's interesting about it is I got some back scalping. We lost on Nvidia because I didn't take the breakout trade, and I was looking dip buy. Like, it was just a continuation idea. Well, yeah, that chart. Yeah, I'll stick to the 3 minute. Look, Nvidia, it was a continuation look because it was making fresh all-time highs in the pre-market. 161.77, I believe, was a prior, and you'd already broken that going into the open. And it was never giving you that dip into 160. It just didn't happen. It was a clean break. So I was taking it back in multiple times. It was this one, oddly enough, which was like the bounce that actually worked a bit, wasn't at VWAP, but I thought it was at VWAP. So I just ended up taking it out and reloading a VWAP, lost, tried to take it here, then started scalping it, got a little bit back. What's weird is when that volume spike happened, when you were just mentioning the new chip for China, like I saw it, I'm like, oh, they're lit grabbing into VWAP after the long stopped working. So I just said, if it's a flip, I'll just short that stupid candle to the upside. And then the second I realized, oh, it's actually news, I just got out of the short. Like, it was great because it gave you like into VWAP right into the low. And then I realized it was kind of a positive news story. So why would I want to be short? And was able to get a little bit back. But it's a down day for me because of this. You know, like it's chasing a move and a little bit of FOMO that's going to end up happening in a situation like that. By the way, just Palantir, it's kind of doing like this like weird continuation pattern to the upside. I'm looking 142 next, and if you go out, just get an order. I just realized I wasn't offering in front of 142. If you go out a little bit further, zoom to 15. Like this low right in here, and there's like a prior close. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it here. This low in here, the 143 area, is sort of the next obvious target if we break 142. So I'm kind of looking for that as a target on the run up in PLTR. But Nvidia, you know, that was frustrating, no questions asked. It might have, I don't know why it's so weak right now. I thought that was a positive news story. And the way the market's reacting and it's reacting, maybe it is a short into 163, but I'm not feeling the shorts. I feel like the market's flipping long. So, you know, I'm going to stay away from Nvidia this afternoon.
All right, yeah, for me, kind of the same idea that we were thinking about there. Joe, what are you doing, man? So the more, first of all, the more on-camera time you have does not equal more money. You understand that, right?
That's all right, man.
He's like a villain from that Smile movie. Have you
That's
seen
what
that
I mean.
movie?
This guy has this smile on.
Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's like this horror film called Smile. It's creepy as F. Because like
Joe's kind of creeping on the show.
It's just someone sitting there like
background. I like
with
it.
I like it.
I mean, that's literally what I did on his show. I just rolled up there. Well, we got to have some fun around here, man. I mean, honestly. 6.5 he gave the chicken fajita.
That's pretty low.
It's not bad. I think it wasn't the greatest. The problem is it comes cold with our salad. So like when I was ever having something like that, like I
but ours isn't. But theirs isn't cold. So it's like ours is,
Joe's
but theirs isn't.
Wolfing that thing down like it's 8.5 over there. Okay, so just real quick, let me clear my throat. All right, so yeah, we tried it off VWAP, man. I mean, like Neil said, that initial bump, it is on the sticky note as a monster play, but it just took off, and I was in Microsoft and happy about that trade. That is for sure. So I know Neil mentioned going red on that trade. That's worth the risk, man. I think he and I will always take risks with stocks like Nvidia and AMD and Palantir and all these things because we know the potential when you're right. And I think as long as you're taking small hits like we both did right there, it's reasonable to me to do that. Before we sat down and was looking at a possible trade as well, I was thinking about breaking this level when I came back from lunch. So that was going to be something for me that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and see if I can get something based on that, and unfortunately it did not break, so that's all good. But if you do scan that QR code right there, we'll talk about 3D Capital right here. With just one stock, 3D Capital, you get exposure to 60 plus early stage plays in AI, blockchain, biotech, and more. Led by a CEO whose last deal turned 150x, 3D trades under symbol IDK here on the CSE or IDKFF over in the United States. Subscribe to their YouTube channel for exclusive interviews and deep dives, and you could win over $1,000. This is your ETF for early stage innovation. Please make sure you scan that QR code. Go check them out. Hey, you want to buy the stock? It's IDK or IDKFF. Scan that to be part of that giveaway. Sounds exciting. So we want to thank them again, always and forever.
Before we go back, Drew Farrell in the chat. Forever. It's not. I thought it's always been obvious, but we're on it. Like, this is a stage on the floor here. Joe is not 4'8". Like, there's literally.
No, he's 5'2".
No, it's like this. It's like a couple feet raised.
Come on, man. Give the guy 6 more inches. All right.
No, everything's gonna be on one level, but like we have to walk up. I don't walk up and down the stairs anymore because now it's an open space. I just kind of step up. But we're kind of raised here. I don't remember the first reason why we raised it, but
it was something to do with the height of people around here, you know. I mean, to make it look a little.
Remember what it was?
What
we did.
Well, it'd be different from the floor. We had the trading floor there.
Oh yeah, so we could have
up the studio, and it was also for. I think it was if there was a flood and all that stuff, like all the equipment around here wouldn't be. I'm just making shit up. Okay, let's go over to Sharif at the green screen.
All right, net Tesla, another day, another down move to the tune of 0.58%. No specific catalyst today on Tesla other than what we already reported, but he did go back and forth there with Danny Ives of Wedbush, who basically took to X to advocate board to do the following: to give Elon Musk his pay package, give him 25% voting control, but to put limitations on his time outside of Tesla as well as his political ambitions, to which Elon responded by saying, "Shut up, Dan." So no real catalyst today, but below 300 we go again on Tesla.
At least everyone's getting along, you know. I mean, I've never really, you know, seen so much chaos from like world's richest man, you know, Dan Ives as well in there as like a respected analyst coming through there, just back and forth. But you know, at the end of the day, that's an analyst's job, is to sort of get in there and talk. I mean, he's been a big bull for Tesla,
big time.
And so I don't have a problem with people giving their opinions.
My kind of question is, okay, so are you not, like, hopefully a lot of that's happening with him wanting to put pressure on the board to like maybe rein in Elon. Like, I would suspect that a lot of that stuff should be happening behind the scenes first before you go public with it. Like you don't. Of course, Dan Ives has the ear of the board and is able to talk to these guys, and there's like conversations that you like. It's just weird to me that if I love Tesla, and I certainly, if I've been one of the biggest Tesla bulls out there, I would hope that those are conversations that you can have behind closed doors because you have that type of access. Why would you want to do it in a public space unless that's like a last type of resort or anything? The other thing that what's her name? The ex.
Lisa Maria Presley.
Linda Yaccarino, that's what it is. I was going to butcher it. I knew it was Linda, but I knew I was about to butcher the last name. Leaving X, and maybe there's some implication that that's being read as a let's get out of the whole like Elon mess, or maybe it was a planned thing. But ultimately, you know, Tesla was a good breakout yesterday, and we took the breakout at the 3 level, and it gave you dips after that. So I took the break, didn't work, took the VWAP, didn't work, did have a bit of a bounce play off the 95, like this bottoming tail here. So we tried the same play we had in the afternoon yesterday that did work. And even that one didn't work. So we go like I'd say 0.75 for 3, because I don't want to call it 1 for 3 on that trade. And we give back a third of what we made on Tesla yesterday. But Tesla, there's a big difference. Like, Tesla yesterday gave you clean breaks in both directions. Today was just a short. So I'm kind of thinking at this point, with all the drama and all that mess, maybe it's just a little bit of a hands-off on Tesla longs, unless it's like a perfect like A-plus type setups. Because ultimately, I just want there to be more talk about those positive news with China deliveries this morning. You've had the robotaxi rollout. You got a Tesla delivering itself. Like, I want us to be talking about that as a Tesla shareholder. And as long as we're not, I think it's just to keep it simple. Like, favor it to the short, unless as long as we're talking about other stuff. When we are talking about the nuts and bolts and what actually matters to the company and to growth, then we should be thinking about the longs. It's a little frustrating because I think they have a lot that's starting to work well again, but it just doesn't seem to matter when we have all this drama.
Yeah, I just heard in our ear, nice move there. Palantir starting to go up higher here. So is Microsoft heading higher there. I put who I thought was in order of height in the chat, but I don't know how tall Adara is.
Which one?
Adara, how tall are you?
I am
5'8". Okay, yeah, so I put you and Neil. I put, not that Neil's 5'8", but Sharif I thought was 6 about. Right, okay, so it's right. So I think we're right. So I think it was going myself and Brendo, and then Sharif, pardon me? Yes, I'm not ranking.
You're not
I mean, it's similar to the nonsense that goes on in the Midday show, right?
You're taller than me. I'm 5'11". You're taller than me.
Yeah, I think you're 5'10".
No, I'm 5. I'm literally, I measured myself like recently because my daughter was doing it too. 5'10.8".
Okay.
Which is pretty much
Ooh,
exactly.
So
well, it's just
exactly.
because.
5'10", 5'11", 6.
I was
6
saying,
for
I think
Brendo.
he's close to 6.
Anyways, people were
Not that it really matters.
people were asking in the chat there. So.
Oh, by the way, Tesla's breaking a little.
Yeah, and right now Microsoft continues to go higher. Look, I mean, as far as Tesla's concerned, yeah, man, 1,000%. I think we've talked about this. I just wrote down that one level, and I haven't really looked like too much at that today because, but that 592 is what I wrote down, and Chef Joe, he knows about that level. He's been messaging me also about the 290 level, 292. Did I say 592? 292. I think those are good levels, and it looks like it holds again. So Tesla down into this area, despite all the drama, I think it's good. I think you can get some bids down there. So I would look to see if there is sort of an afternoon chaos spot here that somehow happens again, kind of like when we saw this epic drop. If we do something like that again, I think these are the better areas now, man. 294, 295, I think we can sit in around there. So that's what I would be doing there on Tesla.
Speaking of EVs, everybody, VinFast just locked in a major $510 million funding deal, led by Deutsche Bank, HSBC, and Seatown, part of Singapore's sovereign wealth fund, Temasek. This fresh capital is set to boost their EV production and speed up global expansion. With big banks backing them, it's a strong sign of confidence in VinFast's long-term game, especially in a market where capital is getting harder to secure. Keep an eye on VinFast and scan the QR code in front of you if you want to get a little more information there. And on that, let's go talk about some BBA. My daughter would love that one, bruh. I love it when she calls me bruh. I'm like, it's,
Oh, does she?
It's daddy. Although, you know what, when they stop calling you daddy and it starts to turn into like other things.
Yeah.
Like I love daddy, and I love hearing it from like your daughter. When it's like the young innocent thing, when they start to grow up and you realize like, yeah, it's more about their friends. You miss when they say other stuff. But the fact that it's bruh right now, it's like, bruh. I can't get used to. It's one thing your boys or whatnot, but I can't get used to my daughter saying that to me.
No, what's up to Erie Pages here? This is so funny that you mentioned this. Yo, what's up? Erie Pages, thoughts on visiting Singapore and opening a floor there? I did that already. So before the show, I was the trading floor development lead here at Real Trading and traveled all over the world. You know, obviously, you know, came over here with this, built this floor into a profitable one, then left, and then different things happened after that. And then we went and traveled. I went around and traveled, and one of the places was Singapore. And that was a lot of fun. So I already been there and done that. Singapore is a great spot. The problem with Singapore, opening up an office there, is cost of living. Similar to here, 98% of traders will lose money, right? And so when you go over to a place that, again, great nation, obviously. I mean, we love Singapore, but they do have a good social program there as well. So the fact is that not much patience for trading. There was my experience, but that was not 20 years ago. That was maybe 15 years ago, maybe, when I went there. So things have maybe have changed. But I think that's a big thing about opening a floor.
It actually might be closer to 20 years.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, no, I'm just thinking about that.
It might have been. So thank you so much, Paul. We are having a great show, and we always do. So join us over and over again. But I've traveled, basically, I told a story the other day about traveling to Moscow as well. That was one of my favorite places to go. We opened up a couple offices in Russia as well, and then in Budapest and so on and so forth. Italy, traveled all over the place. So it was a lot of fun. But Erie Pages, yeah, if you have a plane ticket, I'm coming to Singapore. That offer's open to everybody. By the way, I'll help anybody open up a floor if they want to.
Just for the just clear. So while we were talking, Palantir just spiked and it filled me at 142.5. So like
nice.
It looks like it's continuing to go. I want to try to get back in, but the way that I've been playing it is take half in on the break, take the next half on the dip into the prior high, like half in on the break, take the next half in on the dip buy. If it looks like there's resistance at first level, like try to take some out, then hold for the push. So I want it to consolidate again because, usually it's going step to step. Like it's a bit of a parabolic move up on the last little candle. Let's talk a little bit of BBAI with Sharif, which is a name you guys like.
Hey, boys, on Big Bear AI, but it looks like it was really just some profit taking after another day of higher highs and higher lows. Great day yesterday. It did a bit of a Christmas tree retracement, making highs, selling off. The selling continues today, boys, down about 4 3/4, but still above $7.
Well, $3 right now on Microsoft. So, and that's more important to me because that's a trade that we had discussed here live on the show many times. But Big Bear AI is important for my swing account. We did exit some yesterday. We talked about trying to find a base there, and actually right when we went off air, it was down here into $7. And for me, the minute you fake broke at $8 again there today, we had this trade yesterday. It was huge. Still my trade of the month, basically P&L wise, was that break right there. And then today it wasn't even on the board. The reason why is that we opened up right around $8, and honestly, it wasn't going to do this again. I didn't think it was going to do it again, and obviously, hindsight is what most of trading is, especially when we talk like this. Easy to look back. I don't really like to judge trades on like, this is what happened, and it doesn't matter. Like, you're trying to look at what's going forward. For me, what I'm going to do going forward is, when you open up at such a key level like that, it's not a blast. It's not like, oh my God, we got to go, right? It's kind of like why I was not involved in Nvidia. It was already taking out those levels just as we were open. What you're kind of looking for is that key level to get run like the first time and be part of it. Since it already failed yesterday, it didn't get back to $8. So it wasn't like a super attractive look for me. But I love the fact that we're all talking about Big Bear AI and it's only down 4%. I mean, this name chilled out around $3, $4, $5, where I'm hoping a lot of us are long. And we were able to cash out in there at 6 and then again at 8, yesterday at 8.50. And I think there's going to be more opportunities for this name. I mean, imagine this. It's running. It's doing a couple 100 million shares a day now. And we don't really have news. So wait until there's news. And there might be nothing, right? This could be a complete fugazi of a stock. This could be your Fisker. This could be your Rivian. It could be whatever. But at the end of the day, I believe in the AI plays. I think there's going to be something there. If we are at the infancy of AI, there has to be a couple plays. Big Bear. There has to be Soundhound. Is there a little Bear AI?
Like this
maybe, yeah, maybe Chamath will bring it. When he brings it, you just pile into his SPAC. But right there, Soundhound maybe as well, Randy. And then the biggest AI play, of course, of them all would be Nvidia, and we've already gone over that. But yeah, I like Big Bear AI. I mean, I think that we'll wait. We'll be patient for it. Yeah, Honey Bear. Yeah, what's a Honey Boo Boo? Do you know who Honey Boo Boo is? Good, you're probably better for it.
Yeah,
okay, so right into there, 450 there. Yeah, I watch Toddlers and Tiaras with my daughter. And we just got through the Honey Boo Boo one, and it was just like, what the hell? What the hell? Right there, 450 break. We like that one, Randy. And Big Bear AI. I think it comes back into this area, anyways. $4 or $5, and hopefully they'll start to turn a profit. And yeah, Microsoft. Thanks for bringing that up again, there, right, Randy? Microsoft still $3, and we loaded that up. Came back from the gym. We actually went to the sauna today. We chilled out the sauna. Yeah, I was lying down in there. Yeah, you should have came, man. Why don't I'll just get you a pass.
Sauna in the evening is actually apparently really good. Really good for deep sleep.
Yeah.
If you do it in the evenings. There's a lot of
the Honey Boo Boo TV show. Yeah, what's up?
Doing hot cold is actually really good as well. Like, go from the cold to the sauna, back and forth. I love one half of that back in school, and it was not the cold tub, but being in the sauna was fun.
Yeah, sauna's fun.
You said 450. I think when you're looking at for what's next, the last time it did this move, forget about the price that it happened, because this was like $5.30. That's irrelevant. It's more that when it did that kind of a breakout, it reversed, and then look at this kind of like head and shoulders. It tried to bounce, like that moved down. It did make an attempt to bounce right in here around the prior high. And then a head and shoulders look kind of failed. So I think that's what you're looking for. And that's right around that 450 level. So that could take, sorry, I was trying to hold it. I've been doing it all day. I usually am able to get to the mute. Apologies, No, but I think that's what you wait for, because that's what the history of the stock has done. Either you're getting really long consolidations or you're getting deep pullbacks where you're trying to hold a prior high. So whether it can do that, I think that remains to be seen. Just one note over here. I am eyeballing what's going on. We're going to talk about. Okay, we're not talking. I'm going to say we aren't talking about Amazon. You know, we'll do this after because
yeah, we have lots of stuff to do.
We have plenty of time. We can go back to Microsoft.
All right, guys. Sorry, I can't see the screen here. Okay, so Microsoft with an outperform today from Oppenheimer, about a $600 price target. Good look there. They also touted $500 million in AI savings, sadly, while cutting jobs, reports Bloomberg. Microsoft up, guys, to the tune of 1 1/5 on the day.
Getting a little bit repetitive here, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, kind of like called it. Like, I don't know. I mean, this is the point of trading, is to do some research and kind of, I don't want to say stick your neck out because I don't think it's that type of a thing. But there's Microsoft here on the sticky note, $500 long. I mean, I take pride in putting these things out, and you know, we've had some great, I mean, we can go back and look at what was there yesterday. We had like that CoreWeave short was $10. Tesla or whatever it was, we had another one there yesterday. BBAI actually yesterday as well. So, you know, again, I put it out there. We put on risk. We try to make a difference. And Microsoft right there. And all we talked about was very, very simple. And this is what I'm talking about looking at something and versus trading it for profit and trying to like do something with it. Like when Microsoft broke that $500, they already did that in the pre-market. So it goes back to the point that I talked about with Big Bear AI. The minute that broke $500 there in the pre-market early, that's SMCI, my bad. There's Microsoft. It wasn't there anymore. So, you know, there's the break right there that happens. And this is like 923, 925. There must have been a buy imbalance, obviously, on it. And I, you know, wasn't really paying too much attention to it. But then right away, right at 930, of course, because it's the #1 trade idea that I had, I wanted to look at it and we wanted to get long. So as it was bouncing around a little bit, VWAP was kind of creeping up there. And I also put on the note that, hey, I'm trading it back to VWAP if we missed it. We knew we were going to miss it because the $500 name, like the fact that this goes $5 is like something else, like a $100 name, obviously going $1. So, you know, we knew that was very, very possible and a good chance to miss it. So it went up, it made that high of around 502 or 503. And then when it slammed back down, and it wasn't really slamming down, it's just the nature of the beast, how this thing operates. Like right now, it's only a 3-cent spread, but in the morning it was 30, 40 cents going back and forth, couldn't find its way. So I was like, you know what, we'll just use the kind of the pre-market lows and we take $1 there early on our first take because it was already up to 503. And that long is 501.60. It goes all the way up to 506, 507. That's $6-7. So we're happy with it. We're kind of like waving the white flag. We're tapping out of this. And then as it falls back in there, just as we went away from you guys at 11 o'clock, I was trying it again at the 200 period. And then again, we were able to buy even lower, of course. And then once it broke 501, right there, I got out. And it was like, okay, we tried it there at 502. We take the dollar hit. So we give the majority of it back, not the majority, but enough of it back where it wasn't anything anymore. And then I, you know, went there, we went to the sauna, you know, we did a little work there in the gym. We came back and I was like, are you telling me that this thing really bounces off $500, which was the idea that we liked in the first place? So then I took some at the 50 period and then I took some more down here at $500. So we're long now at $500.10. This is like, I feel like, you know, my grandfather or my dad, I can't remember who he says, like a blind man could see this trade. So I came in right there, took it again, and that's that. So there it goes, man, $3. And again, it's a big trade. And I know that, you know, we were going to be talking more about news and all that kind of stuff moving forward with this show. But at the end of the day, this is trading, and that's right there, boom, boom. And so those are what you want, whether or not you're playing options or whatever. I like that $500 strike price, and I'm getting out of it more and more now. So we've traded hundreds of shares, not thousands of shares today on Microsoft. But we'll wait to see where this one goes. And right now, I only have 10% left. So we just had some good outs here at VWAP there and another one at 503. So, yeah, we'll wait to see about a 200 break there. I'm not going to let this go all the way back. That's 501. So let's put that in right now, just like them jeans. We'll put in a 5 $100.99 stop, and we'll get flattened out if that breaks it. Microsoft, salute to you and salute to everybody that's part of Sticky Note Nation.
Yeah, and you have to put in your mind. I think you were saying in there, like, if you don't usually trade $500 stocks, it's like it's a $100 stock.
I had no
and
idea
just,
where I was going.
Yeah, you the spread will probably. I wasn't looking at the Microsoft spread, but I'll say if you're normal $100 stocks that are in that same range, like I mean, I guess all the Mag 7s are a little bit more expensive than that. But if
Starbucks
they have like
is like $100.
Yeah, if they have like a 1 or 2 cent range or a 3 or 4, then you just figure, okay, the spread could be like 15, it could be 20 cents, like that kind of a thing, and adjust your stops accordingly. Or you can trade MSTU.
Yeah, someone gave us that idea, and I forgot.
MSFU.
What'd you say?
Damn it. Yeah.
Say it to Joe's face next time.
No, it's just, it's a 2 times leveraged bull ETF. But the good thing about this one is at least it'll still be like, it's like 50, so like the prices kind of still match and the charts will be the same. I understand how that sounded, but you guys know exactly what I meant. What I was going to say before we came back, and I know we're going to talk about CLDI, right now Weebull is trying to re-break this key level at 13.25. Just when I say re-break, it really, really failed this. This is not the same as what Palantir did. So just a quick look. Like Palantir kind of like broke out here, and then you could look at the consolidation. Like it broke out above 140, and then it consolidated and then kind of retook it again. Weebull, on the other hand, it only broke it out, and it didn't really drop very far underneath. Like it actually held this 13 level pretty nicely. So I think it's almost like a work off 13, try to grab some if it breaks the quarters, put a 13 stop in, and then be long into the high. Like Weebull looks really, really strong today. And obviously it's having trouble at this prior resistance level. So I'd like to see it break through 25, and then you can give it to that prior low. I don't care about VWAP on this trade. It doesn't really make any sense. It's not doing anything with VWAP anyways. But bull looking a little bit bullish. Let's go talk about another small capper.
Yeah, last one on the list here, boys, CLDI, one I was involved with on the midday show. It's well off the highs right now, but still up about 119%. On this headline, they announced they generated $4.6 million in gross proceeds by exercising about $6.6 million in warrants. And however you feel about that, the market liked it to the tune of 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is it's actually down. Like, if you're right there, it's actually down on the day. Just right now, it's fine. It's still up on the day, but I mean, in the intraday. We opened up in and around here at 9:30. Actually, we're opened up here. We're actually well down right now. We opened up around 90 cents, only to be at 73 right now. So I think as Sharif was saying, like some of these names, you got to hit it and quit it. I heard them on the midday talking about that. Some of these names get going, and then just as they do, it's all the way back down there to the downside. So these are kind of tricky whenever they're, pharma names, because again, like you hear the report and you think it's good. And then the experts, you talked about, you had that one friend that goes through some of the reports you're used to anyways. And it's like, there's always more people, there's always more analysts or people out there that know the space and know what they're looking for. So it gets a lot of hype and then it drips, right? And I think that all you're really trying to do is maybe wait until you see, and maybe if I can just do like this just to show you the volume here. You want to like wait and see until maybe the volume really starts to die down. So again, like you could use volume profile. There's many different things to use. Our charts don't have volume profile, but as you look at this and you kind of draw like a trend line here on the volume, can I even do that on, oh yeah, I guess, can we? Yeah, like that. So, the volume is getting down right there. So I would say kind of like when you see that last little attempt there and you can't get above, like that, this might have been the stopping spot for traders in and around there. And that's around $1. So the minute that dollar breaks, you start to see a little bit of less interest here as we kind of cruise around $1, as people are trying to figure it out. And then once you get that break again, the volume starts to pick up, which maybe would say to me, maybe now it's time to start to look at it because the volume's there, but now you're decreasing again. So the CLDI, always trying to find, whether or not it's RSI or whatever you're using, you just want to try to figure out when the game is over. And it was definitely overbought at some point, being up 200 or 300%. But now you've broken back down through that range. Not a name that I looked at. And honestly, sub-dollar names, For me, I don't mind trading them, but you see how we have 4 digits here and stuff like that? Again, it just goes to irresponsibility. Like, I'll punch into this thing, like, if you punch into like 30,000 shares or something, it's like, it doesn't compute that, like, if it just goes 1 penny, you know, it just, I don't like looking at it basically as the end of the day when it's down here, because see how it just wiped like that? Like, there goes 1 penny, like, back and forth there. I just feel like my stops are gonna get triggered. You can either trade it with lower share size or what, but for me, CLDI right now, I'll get excited if we break back above $1, which is actually where VWAP is. So
I think the problem with that is when you zoom out the stock, there's different kinds of small cappers. One's when you zoom out the daily chart and it looks like this, and my head's in the way, but let me do that. No, it's fine. When you do this and you look, oh, split, and then immediate sell-off, oh, look at the bounce. Look at the type of rejection that it does. It makes you think differently about failed breakouts. So when you get this kind of, like, what are the candles going to be looking like today? If we end up closing down here under, like, or at or below 70 cents, pretty bad. And so, like, that's sort of the issue. And when they lose $1, I think you're in a world of hurt. The good news is, in this case, there's probably new shorts after the halt that shorted this under the $1. So if you can break it back out, there's probably something here in the afternoon, maybe even some continuation tomorrow. But yeah, from trading penny stocks back in the day and sort of like understanding the shenanigans that go on to ensure sometimes the stock can get back and hold above $1. When a stock gets a good positive catalyst, makes that $1 breakout play and rejects it in this fashion, like they couldn't hold it above the buck, if they can't make a late run here, it makes me really dislike it in the short term, because like there's an incentive to keep it above $1. And a lot of times that'll mean like you'll have insiders or whatever institutions that might be putting some trades on to make that happen. We've seen it in the past. And yeah, unfortunately, this one just didn't seem like it had the juice.
Do you ever think you'll go back to trading penny stocks? Like, I don't really.
In certain situations,
okay.
like the last, like Mullen is a good example of that. Like that has good setups on it every now and then. I used to do Sundial. It's weird because you want them to be. It's different. Like, I like it when it's in play and I have an idea of how it moves. Like, I don't like trading them when I haven't at least watched it a couple of days. That's why you only ever see me in Mullen, because at least, like, every time it moves, I pull it up. So I'm at least watching it to see what it's doing, because the way in which they trade isn't as easily transferable as it used to be. Like, it used to be, when I started, if you traded any penny stock that was doing tens of millions of shares, it was very similar to the other one.
Yeah.
You know, like, they were all kind of doing the same thing. Whereas now, like, CLDI, which has done 500 million shares, is trading nothing like Mullen when Mullen did 500 million shares. They're not even comparable. Level 2 liquidity is not the same, despite the fact the volume is the same, the manner in which it moves, the halting. And so you should be trading this technically more like some of those, like the 500% runners that we get. It's along those lines instead of just like a penny stock.
First of all, what's up to Oscarito in here? Nobody took Bears versus Bulls job. Just tell you that right now. No. Not AI, not nobody. So that's a decision that Bears versus Bulls made. Nothing to do with us. But okay, I just want to clear that up.
Nothing but love there.
And yeah, exactly. We have. I just want to make that clear. Yeah. It's not, if we're going to cut costs or anything, we'll probably just get rid of Neil or myself. Like, we're not going to. We do miss Bears versus Bulls.
Yeah, every day.
So there's no doubt about that. What's up, man? Thank you, Katina, man. But it's CATENA. It's all good. But right into there, just quickly here. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Vaughn. I mean, that was awesome. You said SMCI says move. Yeah, I said no, stop. And we got more shares there and actually just took out a little bit more on the downside. So I don't know if you were talking about me to make a move on that or not, but I want to go short in this level until we break through 50s. Like, that was what we written down. So thank you for the super chat. And I just wanted to make sure that I did do that. So we're back into that name. And, we did, like I told you, man, we're 10% into this one. We're waiting for SMCI. We ain't got anything else. So we're going to look around for some more opportunities to trade here today into this afternoon. I don't know if I know it's Unidera tonight, but I'm not sure if there's any earnings.
No major earnings tonight.
No earnings.
We do have a bunch to cover, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, between the Google, Amazon,
So much.
Fresh all-time highs in Nvidia, more tariff information. Like, oh my goodness!
Pretty soon all-time highs on Palantir.
Pretty much of a nothing. Palantir just broke the high again. Oh, it came back. We had the 10-year, which actually was kind of good, but not really that as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. And then the Fed meeting minutes, which really didn't do much of anything either. But I just want to, we got a super chat from Bob the Dog. TSLL, 500 USD. MLGO, 500 USD today. Well, we've seen Tesla today. I don't know MLGO. That's, I think Sharif was on this one. That's MicroAlgo, right? This is a penny stock? Why did I think this was not a penny? Oh, that's why I didn't think this one was a penny stock. Because probably the last time I looked at it, MicroAlgo wasn't one. What in the actual... Well, I'm glad you're up on it. See, these, you got to take profit. When they're running and you get 20 and 30%, understand the history of it. We get these like dead cat bounces all the time, and everyone always thinks just because it's done like the big one, it's going to do the big one again. When oftentimes that ends up being a little bit of a trap. But this had, what is this in the middle of the day? Yeah, this is, see, like, and again, if you're into this sort of thing, like it's a penny stock, but it's basically trading like one of those low float, super screamer type runners, even though it's done 100 million shares. Like there's your breakout on volume. Okay, well, it hits your alerts now. And then as you sort of see volume decrease, it pulls into the volume weighted average price. It's at like 70 cents. Volume starts to pick up. So now you're getting a gain in volume right in here. That would be like a bit of a wedge break, 74. You know, I guess, yes, you go like 71 stop or 70 stop, so 4 or 5 cents worth of risk. And you're asking, is there upside? Well, I mean, also look at the break on the 15-minute. That's also breaking out this level in here. And the range was like 15 pennies down there. So 15 pennies up, it goes almost right to that same range. Just recreates the down range to the upside. So like you just kind of, I guess you trade these from a technical standpoint. But the old days of being able to, like what you used to be able to do is if it was getting bought into $1 and you had a good break, like you would literally see sometimes these axes, or we used to call them axes, but they'd be like market makers, institutions. You'd see them on the bid, and you got a good feeling of, oh, on these penny stocks in this sector, it was a biotech stock. It was a biotech penny stock. You knew the market makers that mattered more than the others, and if I saw them on the bid, I'd add to the position. That's what you used to do. It's not the same anymore because everyone's hidden in the dark pools. So you've got to trade it probably a little bit more technically than I would. I wouldn't even trade these sometimes with a chart. Like you'd have a chart up, but I'm like, I don't care what the chart says. If I see this dude on the bid and I'm in the money, I'm adding. And if I see him drop, I'm getting out. And so you don't see that anymore, so you just have to go off technicals. But yeah, good one there on MLGO. I'm glad you took advantage of it. I think the Midday boys were covering this for sure.
All right, what's up, savvy Canadian traders? If you're looking to boost your exposure now, tap into the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 with Beta Pro, 3 times daily levered ETFs, featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves and minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for an active day trader ready to take on the market. Please read the full prospectus and get ready to enjoy Beta Pro by Global X, betapro.ca. Go read the prospectus there. Make sure you scan that QR code in front of you and go find out about that. I mean, there's a lot of traders that are looking for these big-time levered products, and I think there is a spot in the market for them, especially for those of you that are swing trading and looking to, do something with shorter term. Remember, the options decay that creates the lever is not one that's in your favor long term, hence decay, right? I mean, we're not aging fine beef over here. You want to make sure that you get in and out of those products, but a great one there. 3 times levered, obviously, something that we know a lot of you are looking for. So we want to thank Beta Pro for their support there, Global X and their product, Beta Pro. So, all right, what's up, eh?
Yeah, keep an eye on Gorilla Technology Group. The volume on this has kind of decreased since the spike. So this actually came out during the rundown, so unfortunately was not at the news desk, but I can talk about it now. Apparently, Gorilla Technology Group here on watch. Traders are circulating that the company is now an Nvidia solutions partner. This sounds like speculation for now, as far as I can tell, but either way, GRRR, we know this is a frequent runner decent retail attention, and it does have about an 8%, just under 7% short float. For GRRR, back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Darren. I know a lot of people were mentioning this, but I got to be honest. I'll just have to fail on myself for this one.
Is that because Glorilla or Gorilla?
Gorilla.
Oh, Gorilla. Okay.
Yeah, Grrr. The Grrr I like is from Invader Zim, one of the best cartoon characters of all time. Not Invader Zim. Grrr is a better character on the show, and you're a nerd if you watch it, which I am one. And what's good about this is its partnership with Nvidia. Yada yada yada. Nvidia, small cap. And then you actually get some continuation. So even if you miss the first move, you actually have a good shot. That's the power of the news desk. And I know most times we'll always have anything that's popping off real like this should be hitting your scanners. And you want to make sure there's actually something going on here, and maybe not just some random nonsense, but looking pretty solid. It's a bit of a secondary rally for the stock overall. So you tend to think they're a little bit more muted till they start breaking out higher levels. And this one is very whippy action when it catches a seller. It's like one of those you want to get out and wait for it to regroup, because when it catches a seller, it turns back like nastily, and then it has to settle down for a bit, and then you go back to the upside, which you can see on that daily chart. So you got to understand the nature of the game that you're playing in a stock like that. I'm just going to go back over, because we did say, I'm pretty sure I said Palantir made a new high. I did not say all-time high.
Oh no, it's 148 is all.
Yeah, I know. I've made that mistake before. Just know, sometimes you're talking all day long, and I'll accidentally say all-time high when it's breaking the high or it's close enough to it. No, but Palantir did just break. There's your 148 that you're mentioning, Sean. But it did just break and pull back. So now that it's in the pullback off of the 142.5, I'm looking at 141.5 as the spot. At least for now. I'm open to changing that as something drastic happens in the tape, because I'm seeing 142 hold. Not that there's anything on the bid there or anything that's standing out in the tape at 142. But if it does a bottoming tail candle like this, like a break and an immediate retake of 142, I might just jump in here instead of waiting for it to pull back into the $0.50 Adara.
Here on META and SNAP. Earlier today, we had a story that TikTok is apparently preparing a US app with a separate algorithm and code base. Apparently, ByteDance would still be working on this. Well, now ByteDance has just come out and they said this is, quote, factually inaccurate. So ByteDance denying reports that apparently TikTok is preparing a US app. We know that the TikTok being in the US has been a decision that's been delayed multiple times by President Donald Trump. Well, it looks like ByteDance saying that any stories about a US TikTok, not accurate. Back to you.
Correct. Yeah, that's funny.
The correct. You're supposed to always say factually incorrect.
Right.
Anytime anybody corrects anybody in our pool, it's just turned out, because we had one dude that everyone rags on, which you have to do. And I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, he's a good guy about it.
He's a really good guy about it, but he said it, it's just like, who speaks that way? And so, of course, now everything is just factually incorrect. Because if you're in a fantasy pool with your boys and some guy throws a stat out there, you just be like, someone would say that's cap, or like, come on, shut up, that's nonsense. Nobody says factually incorrect, so he gets called out for that, and I'm going to continue to say it over and over again. But
that's cap.
Someone posted in our chat the other day that it's very true. Good friends know how to jab at each other, and you do that because it's just fun and it's just what you do. But on that story, I'm not actually seeing Snapchat move that much, because I feel as if it was right around, I don't know the exact time, but you can see a volume spike to the downside. This dropped 25 pennies, which is not nothing on a $9 stock. So for it to rally 5 or 6 cents to the upside, part of it's because it already moved up, but you'd like to see it get back and break out from where it was before. It might be a little bit of a nothing burger. Maybe Meta's doing better off of this because Meta's just better. Meta, it moved. Like, don't get me wrong, that's $1, but in Meta terms, $700 stock, it's not even registering. You can barely even see the volume spike there, so that might not be as big of a deal here in the afternoon. So I'm probably going to back away. Always keep them up on the radar. Maybe something happens and you get a little bit more volume later, but I'm just going to be thinking about Palantir at this point. Let us know in the chat you guys are also watching in here. I've seen a lot of Soundhound today. Like Soundhound AI.
People are getting excited about the AI play.
Yeah, for sure. This one, hey, that's not bad. Nice little rounded bottom, up a couple of points. You like V-shaped recoveries because of what they mean. Like, look at the rejection double top rejection on a stock which is going parabolic, but holds this prior low and doesn't even get to it. It's even better if it can't even get to the prior, like this low in here at 1230, because it means the sellers, they don't have complete control of the stock unless it's at resistance. Like they can't drive it through a support level. They can hold it at resistance, but they can't drive it through the dip buyers. And so I like these V-shaped recoveries. I just think it's a lot better if you can get in before it gets to the high. Because you know there's selling in here. It's almost like you want to be in. So like, here's the example. Like in bull, it's trying to do a rounded bottom on its own. I'm trying to take this break on bull here at the quarters, which clearly isn't happening. And the same thing is happening in Soundhound as we speak. And as a matter of fact, it is making the break. So the technical break I'm looking for in Weebull is literally happening in a similar vein in Soundhound, and you can play it into the high. Let's go back to Adara. Maybe there's a story here.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked here more into this Gorilla Nvidia thing. So yeah, it is actually on their website. Thank you for someone in the chat for letting me know they are an official Nvidia Solutions partner. I looked to see a press release to see the timing of this. I could not find anything. So they haven't officially released this. When I looked further into this, it looks like this has been speculated since like April 2025. So for at least 2 to 3 months, this has been speculation. I was just curious as to the timing of this. Again, obviously this story began circulating after 2 p.m., but it's unclear when the website was updated. Now, apparently what NVIDIA Solutions Partner is it's part of NVIDIA's partner network. This is available on their website. So yeah, as far as I can tell, that's what this means. If I find more details, I will let you know, but they actually have an entire database of their partners. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff here. I will continue to look into this for you guys. When I searched in Gorilla Technology Group just now in their partner network, I couldn't find it, but maybe it just hasn't updated yet. Back to you.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, always trying to vet those stories. So good job on that one. I'm going to go long. I'm going to go long Big Bear AI. There's a lot of talk about it in the chat, so let's ride right now if we can. Let's go through 730. If it breaks this VWAP and goes to the upside, we're going to try that right there on a break of Big Bear AI. If it doesn't work, this doesn't like classify as like a break and fake type of thing because it's just kind of like there's only an hour left here. I don't know if it's going to get like a huge increase in volume, so we might just break it and we have to kind of let it settle and get back up to the upside. So with that being said, I still think 10 cents or something is worth it, man. If this comes back in and breaks through that 720 back there to the downside, I don't have a problem stopping out where the rest of the world stops out, honestly, on a play like this. It's going to be a little bit of a later play on the middle of the day, so we're out of that. And this is what I'm talking about, man. I'm going to say awesome. Awesome. Even though, shout out to Vaughn Clark there, who talked about SMCI. Look, man, I mean, this is why we get the out. You know, this is how you remain. We talked about being green, being, I think, every day this month so far. And, you know, here we go. SMCI, like, this is why you get out of the way. You know, the only thing that I could have done better there, I guess, was reverse on SMCI and take that back in there. So congratulations, Vaughn, if you were long or anybody else that was looking at SMCI, because pop goes the weasel. On that one. Nice play there for you or Vaughn or anybody else out there. Vaughan, a good city just north of Toronto, right there. Shout out to all the Italians right now. Okay, so Microsoft, again, man, shout out to everybody that's making. Money. There it is, man. We're still 250 in the money. I wouldn't say the word is impatient. Whoops. Oh, that's right. We're still on this. I wouldn't say the word is impatient here. It's not. It's just getting a little impatient. It's not moving, so I am still waiting for 503. I have an offer at 503, but we'll take that at VWAP when it was coming to it there, so that was good. We just noticed it was bouncing around. Then we went back up, and I was like, we almost got to 503, so when we didn't, I took another piece out at 60, or right here anyways, 68, I believe. So that was a good fill there. We still have that 503. If that can pop, then good for us. But other than that, man, you guys know we're getting out at 501, and if that winds up breaking. So that's just kind of a trade that I'm looking at right now, and I look at Adara for the next story.
Another not the best catalyst here coming through for GOOGL. I'm just seeing here, apparently the House Select Committee on China has released a letter to, or sent a letter here to Google CEO Sundar Pichai, raising concerns over the company's apparently malicious advertisements on Google platforms. So keep an eye here in GOOGL in case you missed it earlier today. This thing took quite a move to the downside, quite a powerful move to the downside after we did have OpenAI reportedly looking to do this AI web browser. Previously today, Perplexity announced their own web AI browser. So GOOGL, not a great day for Catalyst. We send you back to the Geister Power Hour.
Thank you, Adara. Absolutely. And look, it was not good for Google, but come on, they literally bought it right up. When I say they, you know what I mean, algos, institutions, all that kind of good stuff. So I kind of went over the worst flat trade you'll ever see. It's weird. Like sometimes you'd rather have lost on the trade. It's actually not true. It was just a matter of it was one fake out too many on the bottom. It's like wait for it. Okay, that's the turn. Ha ha ha. And then just as you're adding to it, they make one more run of the low. But I don't know. It'll always be frustrating. But that being said, what I mean to get to is you always want to pay attention to what the reaction is on a negative news story. Like, what does the market do with it? The algos are going to drop to bid. That's just what happens. But it got bought back up. It got bought right back up. And ultimately, nothing has anything, like look at this, look at Google since the April low. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, well, it hasn't gone to the top of this trend line, but you know what? That news doesn't change this for me. Like, as far as I can tell, this is the pattern on Alphabet, and if in the next couple of days we lose this 170 and go underneath, then I think you go bearish on it. And if that doesn't happen, then you just look for it to continue the channel to the upside. It's as clean as it gets right now. There's buyers in an up channel in Google, and until proven otherwise, I almost don't care too much about the story. They got a million moats at work. Don't talk about Waymo enough. Everyone's all excited about quantum for a bunch of names that don't do anything with it or don't make any money or have any revenues. But like, it's Google and IBM that have been spending the most money on quantum for the longest time. So who do we really think is going to make a breakthrough? And I say that as our family's got some QBTS, but that's like it's a Hail Mary. It's an absolute Hail Mary. Google's not. Alphabet's not. I go back and forth with those, by the way.
So that Hail Marys already happened on QBTS.
Oh yeah, well that's what like if you're not already in some of those at some of the better prices, the Rigettis, the QBTSs, I think you really have to wait for them to settle down. Like that's already happened. You need a new set of Shkreli's or shorts to work it down, and then they start to get blown out, some of the new ones. But I think like the early move has kind of happened there. I'm only saying Martin Shkreli because he's the only person. I'm sure there's lots of hedge funds and traders and analysts out there that have said to the names like, I know there's one more I'm missing. It's Rigetti and QBTS and QBT. IonQ, that's the other one. That have been talking about that group and probably putting shorts on every time that it goes to the upside. But like you already got the big parabolic. I just called it Rigetti because it's the last one I said. And then there was your chance at the dip buy on some of these. And it held these levels. Now you're a double up from its support on the pullback. Like I don't know, to me, this isn't where you'd be pulling, you don't pull the trigger on some of these stocks. Like maybe you get a nice little tight long in here, like the 50 period, which this is really respecting Rigetti, by the way. Like it's really respecting the 50 period on the daily. Like that could be something to look at. But yeah, I think you're in. I like to use baseball analogies, like what inning it is, but I'm like, you know what? I don't have a really good idea. Maybe it's like you're at the first or second batter of the first inning in the top of the first for quantum. So, there's going to be a lot of, the outcome is still to be determined. All right, so going back over to Soundhound, I mean, it was already breaking out through 13, but there's your V shape. The opening range, 10 o'clock, so there's your 10 o'clock resistance level. So essentially when it broke there and then consolidated off that level, I just took the long in the consolidation. I just tried to make a little bit of a break. You can see I'm offering out into like these highs, and then if it breaks that, play by ear into the top. So I want to give it to underneath. Well, I mean, if you guessed I'm giving it to underneath $13, then you've guessed right. I mean, sometimes it is obviously, I think you literally just said, if it stops out at the level everyone else does, fair enough. But like it's like that trade I'm giving to here. That's literally the prior bar low happens to be the even dollar. So like I'm just stopping it. I might give it like 98 instead of 99 just to get cute with it. But that's all I'm watching here. Did we get to the super chat from Chatty?
I mean, it literally just happened.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Oh, you know what? I'm not even scrolled to the bottom. That's why. SLP opinions, please. They report next Monday, SLP, that is on the Nasdaq. I say that out loud to myself because I'm used to back in the days when anything with 3 letters was a New York stock and 4 letters was Nasdaq. Yikes. So for full disclosure, anytime I'm looking at something, we get asked a lot of questions, and oftentimes it might be a stock that I'm unfamiliar with, which I'll always tell you out the bat. This is the first time I'm looking at them, and what I usually want to do in that case is like, what's the news? And then I'll probably usually I want to go to the details as well. Like I can see that this is all the way from June. Okay, so you have no news on it. You're saying they report next Monday. Let's get rid of FICO because that's the last one we're looking at. I want to get a sense of a feel here because when it's that far down, I want to see this 16% short flow. Okay, well that's good. If you're looking at a stock which is like very, very bad on a daily chart, I want to see if there's short interest there. Float 11 million, so you got a bit of a low float. So that's a couple of things that can usually make it run if it gets good news, because why else would you when you look at something like that, you need to have some kind of a runway if it gets good positive news, shorts covering big. So 16% short float, good. I don't like bottom pegging these. I want to see it break so that you at least have something to work off of. Like I've never taken a swing trade, literally trying to catch a low and just sitting on the bid, except for extreme situations like if I was trading a penny stock back in the day, like you take it off like a 10-cent level, go long 11s. But that's when the stock is at its death. You take those shots because the risk to reward is so good. Here, there's probably still too much runway to try to predict what low would be. So I'd almost rather it start to break out. And ideally, you could have that breakout before the earnings and then hold it through with a stop underneath. But outside of that, I tend to stay away. But I like the fact it's got a nice short float. I think it helps.
All right, let's go over right now who's making all of the money here at Real Trading. So here we go, man. This is, again, something that we have here at Real Trading. It's called Trader Information Portal. All traders that are involved with Real Trading can log in here and see the top 10 traders today. So this was for yesterday, right? As we go on and have a quick look at all of this. So there it is, man. Amex, CME, Nasdaq in New York right there. So these are the markets. So this is the one individual trader and then the markets that were traded. So, we had a trader yesterday trade Amex, the CME, so probably a futures product there, Amex. We had that BNBR or whatever is in there as well. The New York, Nasdaq. This trader here staying up a little late there, burning that midnight oil. We respect that. And they were Australia and Nasdaq, so interesting.
That's not a normal pair to see. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So to see that was a little bit odd right there, but interesting nevertheless. New York, Nasdaq all the way down. Try to trade the best markets there, as a lot of people do. So that's interesting there to see that. And then all the way down, Amex, Nasdaq, New York, and then shout out to somebody located up in Canada, getting all of the Canadian markets pretty much traded there yesterday as well. What's missing from here? No blue ocean or anything like that today. There's been some good overnight trading happening. And then also, we have access to pretty much all the markets worldwide. So it's pretty, concentrated North American markets there yesterday. Sometimes you'll see on here, Lisbon or Zitra in Germany, or the LSE or DAX, Zetra, same thing, right there. So some stuff going on there. So interesting to see all of that. Okay, so BBAI not moving around too much, so we'll have to wait. Again, I think we nailed that trade there. It didn't break, so we're not in it right now, but I still think there's a lot of opportunity there for Big Bear AI. So that's something to look at. All right. Some traders talking about Tesla there in the chat.
What's Tesla doing?
Nothing really. 297.
MSTR?
Again there as well. I don't know if there's any other names for you guys. Today's day, I was sort of saying to you earlier, and I think a lot of you probably, or hopefully, has felt the same thing there. I didn't really think there was, unless that bond auction goes, dramatic one way or the other, that was a nothing burger, so there's nothing there. And then we were always saying that, the Fed minutes, and I'm not even sure what the minutes came out as. Maybe Adara, was there anything key in those minutes? Because
yeah, I mean, I actually talked about it when they came out right before the flip of the shows. There was nothing at all really that significant. One thing I found really interesting was they did say they were going to, a couple of, and that's their exact wording, members were considering potentially a July cut if data held out. We were only 2 Fed members that we're aware of. That would be Waller and Bowman, who have suggested a July cut. So it sounds like they're the only 2 that are really interested in July, but that's just me reading maybe into it too much.
Yeah, I don't know. That's okay. No, I was going to go ahead, Neil. I was going
to say, if you look at like both 1 o'clock, like just, well, you can see the trend. I mean, why am I showing you times? If you look at the 10-year, it just continued its trend down. Like what you would have been looking for is if something changed, but which is like a slow grind back, which is good. That's why I think you're getting some strength back into the market, which is a slow grind back up. So rates didn't really do much of anything except continue, the 10-year anyways, sliding in, which, I mean, ultimately, I think that's part of why you're getting this like nice, slow relief rally, and why I'm kind of favoring longs in the afternoon or anywhere where you can get some breaks on risk names. So until that changes, which I don't think there's any catalyst in the last hour for it to, maybe the imbalances could come one way or another. We're not expecting anything crazy, but you absolutely never know. So keep an eye on rates. They matter so much more, and they'll give you the hints as to how we're doing a lot of times in terms of direction.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to, we called this up earlier, so this is why I sort of was talking about the Fed rate there, or the minutes that came out, just to see if anything had changed, and no. So we had looked before there for July, and I said, you know, maybe if there was, as Adair just mentioned, some dissent or whatever sort of the talking points were involved in that. Doesn't look like much happening there, 95% there. So I'm not even going to look. I mean, at the end of the year, this was the exciting thing. We could get that 75 basis point cut if we can get that. Not by the time December happens, because right now, wait a second, right now we're 425, 450, sorry. So December, this would be, 75 basis points. Okay, so yeah, that would be the cut. Hopefully we can get 3 times there. Looking like we'll be back into this range, and then we'll move forward. Doesn't look like, there's basically a 3% chance of no cuts whatsoever. By the time the end of the year happens, that's where we are right now. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's much happening right now on the CME Fed rate tool. And I think that's something that you guys could all call up there, especially if you're trading more macro stuff, Forex or the yield and different things like that. You could, check it out there. All right, Nvidia, still that gorilla stock. I mean, I think that was a pretty interesting name that we had talked about earlier, and that a lot of you in the chat, Healing as well there in the chat was talking about this. Adara sort of did that dive into their website and whatnot. Maybe tomorrow it'll be updated over the night, and I think this name could go. I did want to check before we went over this because I did not look at what the short float was, GR there, the short float rate here, or just a float in general. So the float's 22 million, so a little light, but still okay. Short float only 6%, so yeah, not much there as far as like how that, hey Ramin, how that could be going down through as well. But we'll wait for it. Again, a good news catalyst there. GRR, we'll figure out what's going on with that one. SoFi, of course, today, still $20. I actually didn't. I got out of I get out of like 10% every time I'm telling you guys that. And the last time I got something out on SoFi was $18. So maybe thinking about probably getting some out. But again, I'm waiting. Still got to get my money right because, again, it's in the longer term account. So I might wind up selling that anyways and just move over to.
You know what actually makes sense?
There's BBAI on the break. So yeah, right now we're long Big Bear AI.
Because there is some time until their earnings.
Glorilla?
No, not Gorilla, SoFi.
Oh, SoFi, yeah.
I'm glad you said that because like, people might have thought I was talking about Gorilla. SoFi reports on the 27th, so you still have you got time. It's almost
long time.
Almost 3 weeks in there. So it gives you an opportunity to instead of selling shares, you can always just go for like covered calls or something. And then if it does like some kind of a crazy move, it's like, okay, well, you didn't mind selling anyways, so if they get called away, not a big deal.
Right.
But that's when you do that in a longer term holding, it has to be something that is your plan. Like I am okay if they get called away. I don't mind selling it. The last time I did it was on a stock like Intel, where I'm like, look, man, I remember thinking it too. I was like, it was a 25 buy a couple of years ago. I'm like, if that goes 50% up, I will gladly have a quarter of that called away. I'll be more than happy. at that point. And when it did, it ended up being a really good decision. Right. To be honest, I wish I had sold them on the whole thing, but that is what it is. So you know what? I'm actually looking. I should have reloaded, and I might do it now off the 13. Like if my stop, if we're able to get some out on Sound on the way up for this break into the highs, then I want to get back in the quarter that we got out the next time, because it just held on to that even dollar as we speak. So I'm just going to rebid it, not going to move the stop at all, still underneath 13 bucks. And then looks like we're getting a nice move to the upside. So Sound's going, I see BBAI is going. There might be other sympathy names, I guess, in the AI space that could all be making this similar rally. So if you have something in the spot, like they seem to all be trying to make a run in here, and it might be the right spot for sure.
Okay, yeah, there goes Big Bear AI. Again, I don't mind breakout trades. I don't necessarily consider this one a breakout trade. I mean, it's breaking out of its range, but I just wonder if it could bleed upside a little bit there. I am waiting for 10% out at 35, kind of just because, want to get a little bit out there. Remember, it's going to be 1-to-1. The stop is at 720, so if we break back down below that, which we could, I was actually hoping for more volume on that, right? I mean, we talked about the volume that I had this morning when everybody was looking at it. We were not on it this morning. It wasn't even a mention of mine, really, until everyone was like, oh my God, Big Bear AI is going to the downside. We had stopped trading that yesterday around noon. But right there, finally trying to break back above, so we'll see. Normally when this happens, the reason why we zoom that out, like it's not great volume, but like I can't predict what's about to happen. All I can do is trade setups, and it's something that I liked. And it wouldn't have surprised me if this had just ripped up right there on Big Bear AI, but it stopped. So yeah, we'll wait and hope someone sees this and wants to buy it with me. But for right now, not much we can do on that. There's Big Bear AI, so we'll wait to see. I think if I could have a target today, honestly, like 750 would be good. Like this little stop zone there is 45, so that's only going to give us just more than 1-to-1 on the trade. Again, I like a lot, but it's not looking like it wants to go. The more size that keeps building up here on the offer, it's not. I know it's on 150 million, and that 25,000 there shouldn't really affect it, but it will. There it comes. Just came back. Like got hit, and then 30 more thousand shares. 50,000, sorry. That's one's on Nasdaq, one's on New York. So, they're all starting to show up there. Someone just hit the New York guy, by the way, for 20,000. So, yeah, there's definitely buyers here of the stock, but there's also sellers, and it can't get through the way. And as you're looking at the live level 2 here and the time in sales, all these prints, all these blue ones, they're all in between. They're all half prints. They're all citadels and all that kind of stuff, routing away your orders and just picking all these destinations off in the matrix. So you got to watch out there for Big Bear AI. Might not be the trade that we're all hoping for here at the close, which is completely fine. I hit it with like basically less than half of the shares that we had the other day on the 8 break. So not much going on there. Yo, what's up, Charlie Taft there? Want to know if we're bullish or bearish on Tesla. So you mean in general or just like today? Because I'm pretty bullish on Tesla long term. I don't know what your opinion is, Neil. I think it's probably bullish as well. But for today, yeah, I mean, it's down on the day. That would be the only thing for me. So the Nasdaq right now is up 0.6. I don't generally like fighting trends, especially where we're in the last hour. But the trend on this is up. You're above VWAP. So yeah, I think if you like the long, you're right at some levels right here from the morning that held. So if we can break above right now, maybe 98s, which is, or maybe even just this breakout right there, then I think we could hold it and then just use the 50-period moving average. So I think for a $1 or so area right there. I know, I see BTC, everybody. And it's trying to go.
IBIT's going.
I mean, I'm happy with that.
MSTR is going. Strategy is going as well. We do see it. And it's picking up volume in Steam. Did we get any? Double check. I've heard nothing. I don't see anything when I quickly check out X. So there's nothing obvious. It doesn't have to be a story. Like this could just be technical. Like you're breaking a resistance level and then you get some acceleration when you break it out. So Bitcoin's making a rally. You got MSTR. I just typed in Microsoft. It's muscle memory. Like you type in the one that you probably have done more often. MSTR making a move 3% to the upside. See, the good thing about this is maybe you finally get a squeeze play on MSTR where it can get through 420 and make some of the shorts, because there's this whole long Bitcoin short MSTR thing, which is a thing. So you want to see some of that unwind. And I think the perfect storm would be if it breaks this out before Bitcoin even takes out its high. Because if that happens, then you're already in trouble short, and then Bitcoin makes a fresh high. It's just a better sequence of events. But I'm a Bitcoin person. I hold it. As a matter of fact, I like to say, sort of off-brand, foolishly, not trimming any Bitcoin, even though it's more of my portfolio than I usually want it to be, because the last couple of dip buys and then we got back to the high. Generally speaking, I'd get myself back down to around 5% up here, but I've been I use the right word, which you shouldn't use when trading and investing. I've been kind of hoping that before I pull the trigger, it actually breaks out that top and I get myself an extra 10, 15% on the sell, which I know I'm going to do. I'm not going to let it get back underneath the 100. I am going to trim some of my Bitcoin. I haven't decided.
I mean, you haven't bought any in a long time, though, but you have such a good...
Well, it's not a long... Yes, well, it depends on the definition of long. April, and it would have been back... twice this year. So once at the beginning of the year, and then once on April. Because it's just, on the daily chart, I'm only looking at two things on Bitcoin. It's like this prior high, and then that top, when it broke the prior high, turned into support. And that's it. I've looked at nothing else. And of course, the obvious thing would be to trim at this top, which I don't know why. Like I said, I know why I'm not doing it, because I'm sitting here in a hope mode. Each time it goes to the high, it's going to break out, and I'm going to be able to eke a little bit of extra profit out. But my intention is to take some of that money out and try to get it back, try to put it into some into the index, because I like to, when I generate some cash, I use that for dip buying the indexes or DCAing into the Qs or the SPY, whichever one I like at the time, or maybe finally get something in Robinhood is the other way that I'm thinking about playing it. So kind of stay in the crypto space, but I don't own any Robinhood, which I've talked about at times, and that might be a good place to put it. The only problem is that I'm still kind of committing myself to crypto if I do that.
Not really, man.
Not really, but it's kind of. It's just not how I do things.
Yeah, no.
I'm usually more conservative than that, in that I'd take that money and put it into the index, not back into something crypto related. Otherwise, why wouldn't I just keep it in Bitcoin?
Yeah. So yeah, to that point, you guys know I've been buying I bought 103, I bought 102s or 103s, I bought 105s, and yeah, I'm starting to load up. The idea for me would be to hold. I'd said this before, I wouldn't mind holding a couple coins, full coins, so that once it does finally rip, we can get something out, put that away and whatever, and then try to hold on to something else as it continues to go higher. So that's sort of the goal there, and we have been building into position, selling some of the altcoins, and also buying some Ripple. So I'm buying XRP, selling the Cardano, selling Ethereum. You guys know I sold Ethereum at 25.5 and put that right into Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm quite bullish on that as well. But my specialty remains right here, man. Trading and what we're doing for you every single day. And I hope I can continue to prove that to all of you. And it's so good to be here with everybody every single day and trying to do all this for you. There's Microsoft. We just got some more out there at 303, or 503, sorry. So that was another good trade there. Going long at 500, out right there, another $3. I think we've probably taken about $10 or more maybe on Microsoft today, just kind of refreshing the ideas that we had. So those have been working out pretty good. So we'll continue to wait to see if Microsoft wants to keep doing that upside play, but we're getting lighter and lighter on it now. 5% left only right there. That was a good fill for us at 503. So and the reason is we already saw that right there. There it comes in right there, so 503. All right, that's that. All right, I know Neil doesn't sports gamble or anything like that. I do, and I don't use DraftKings. I use FanDuel, but again, supporter of this stock. I like DraftKings. Another move upside here, $43, looking to break out. I don't think this is going to be a trade for today, but definitely a trade a little higher through $43. I think this could be...
It was the bill the other day.
I used to do something like this, and I have to keep this on the download before Joe or Sharif or somebody takes this, but I used to have tomorrow's trade today, and that was another segment. And I just want to say, this could be tomorrow's trade. a good positive there. I'm just playing around with all that. These guys can take whatever they want. But right there, 44. If I see tomorrow, Joe have tomorrow's trade today's segment, it's already done. See this guy? Like I told. Oh man, yeah. But anyways, I think, and it was really fun. I used to do that because I used to do the market recap show for a year by myself, and then we're able to get Adair involved, and now Neil's doing it. I was just like, I can't keep doing this every day, so now we've got help doing it. But that was one of the segments, and I think that DraftKings could really go. So we'll wait to see on that one. We're in it in the mid-30s, somewhere around here. Remember I told you like I got filled by accident? Like I had some bids in there, and then I was going through the account like, what the hell, I'm long right there. So that was a good move. Hoping that we can, yeah, yo, what's up, Russell? Yeah, I hope we can get some out there near the high side. But yeah, man, whoa, there we go, man. IBIT to the rescue.
To the moon.
So we'll go, I don't have you have the congratulations Bitcoin?
Oh, yeah,
one?
I do.
That was Joe going off. Yeah.
I was on the wrong page.
Yeah, so there goes. I was going to call up IBIT, but there it goes, man. 110. What up, 110 right now? Trying to break a little bit higher.
Oh no! Like every time I try to hit the Brendan goat.
Yay! Oh yeah, there it is. Once they speak on.
It's because the graphic looks almost the same.
Super chat, okay.
We got a super chat from 007 Kyle. Shout out to you. You must be a Sean Connery fan. Neil Sean, the real goats. The real goat is Sean Connery, the greatest of all, and which we all agree on, by the way. Like we talked about this.
I don't have enough opinion. I haven't watched.
No,
I default to you.
No, this is all for Joe.
No, but Joe admits that he screwed that up. The guy's seen like 4 Bond movies.
No, but it's like saying I love LeBron James, he's the GOAT, but you've never actually watched any other NBA player.
He's still saying Pierce Brosnan. But the thing is like this. My dad one time told me this, okay? He goes, how do you know that, you know, because he used to drive Mustangs, Corvettes, Trans Ams, Camaros, all this. And he was like, how do you know what car you like the best or which car is the best in class or whatever unless you sort of drive them all?
Yeah.
You know, you have to have experience doing that, very similar with Love Life and all this kind of stuff. So I'm just saying to Joe, like, the guy's admittedly seen a couple of Bond movies.
Yeah, it's no different from buying a stock and not knowing anything about the company.
Yeah, LeBond James, that's funny. I think LeBond James is the best Bond of all time. But no, I think that's another thing. I know you've seen them all and you are a fan
of the
Bond, exactly, of the Bond series. Just like anything geek related, I would default to you as well. And nerd, you call it your self-proclaimed nerd. Star Wars, I would say
there's a danger.
Oh, I know somebody that's way bigger in Star Wars than you, by the way. One of my assistant coaches. No, only because the guy dresses up
now.
As the guy is part of the Toronto Skywalker, not Moonwalker. What do they call those guys that wear the white stuff?
Stormtrooper.
Okay, he's a way bigger fan than you then.
No,
yeah, Stormtroopers.
We're talking stocks all day long. Sometimes
so he's on stage tonight with Weird Al Yankovic at Budweiser Stage.
Get out of here.
Yes, because
that's sick.
Yeah, so because apparently Weird Al has a Star Wars.
Yeah, well, Weird Al is a.
Yeah, so he's at Budweiser.
People know Weird Al. I'm assuming everybody knows Weird Al.
Everyone knows Weird Al Yankovic. Yeah, come on, man. But anyway, so he's doing that tonight.
That's cool.
And I told him, I said the guy I work with is a big fan as well. So,
but to me, one of the reasons why I love it so much. Here's the thing: I'm a huge James Bond fan. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Hey, BBS.
When I was a kid, my dad would take us to the movies. Well, he'd tell him I'm taking the boys to the movies, and we just end up watching whatever he wanted to watch. I remember, so I got to see like Bonds in the theater when I'm not even sure I should have been seeing them at that age. Every each is their own. I now love them and they're fantastic. So I got Star Wars. We'd always watch. Obviously, it was Return of the Jedi at the time. I remember seeing the science fiction 2010 when I was a little kid. And I couldn't even understand what was going on, but I was mesmerized and loved it. So part of my love for it is just the good memories with my pops. Because it's just, I associate it with just, you know, good stuff, or ish. I can say that. So that's part of it, man. But let's be real. What is going on? Go Bitcoin. Go IBIT. MSTR is squeezing everybody here for sure. What is ETH doing? Is it ETH? Which one do I like better? ETHA is the good one, right?
That's what I like, yeah.
Yeah, ETH. Look, ETH is making a move as well. It's not just Bitcoin. Like, look at the last couple of sessions here on ETH. Like, it's looking really strong. Like, the market's not doing much. Like, the real jam is here. Look at the technical break. It's pretty good. Oh, I was gonna. Okay, let's go to Adara. It's 3:30 just hit. Got some early looks.
Oh, yeah.
Adara.
I just want to let you guys know here, Delta earnings tomorrow morning. So as we do here at TTV Research, I actually made this infographic for you guys. In the background, we have a fun little sky and Delta's colors. And this is actually a pretty interesting story. I started here at their annual revenue in 2007 when the company was relisted on the New York Stock Exchange. And then, of course, sitting here in 2024, keep an eye here on DAL. Let's see if this one flies to the upside or crash lands at its earnings tomorrow morning. TTV Research on X. Back to you.
ETVL immédiatement. Right there. I have no idea if that's French or not, but I feel like it.
Don't ask me. I don't know that.
Bang right there. Screw AI like dubbing in French, man. I'm just gonna do a show there, but no, we did the Big Bear AI there, and it went up a little bit, man. I got some 34s. That's it, man. I was like, oh wow, we'll sit because. You might have heard me under my breath. I was like, this dog's not going. Like, what am I doing here? And then anyways, I still have that 35 there, but when it busted up through 34, I just sat there on edge A or what. This isn't going to mean anything to you, but just got filled on edge A at 34. It didn't print through it. You got to sit on gateways, and I wound up paying like $1 for 1,000 shares just to grab that fill, right? So we'll grab that right there at 34. Again, small move, right? I mean, that was only making 1%. We just made there 3 pennies on a $7 stock, like. Not even. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening right there as well. But yeah, crypto's starting to go. I feel like this is frozen. This is not moving for me right now. Did we break through 110 or what? Yes, we did. So there it goes, man. I thought that wasn't loading up there. So there it goes right there. 110.4 right now. Come on, Neil. Yeah, so a little frozen action there. I was going to say to the wife.
No wonder.
We went out for dinner last night. 20.
So bad.
What's up, my wife? Love you. 3 Proseccos there. $22 each for a flute of Prosecco. The guy brings out the bottle. I'm like, that's a $20 bottle, my guy, right there. But that's what you pay for when you go out to dinner. Got to spoil the wife every once in a while. And that was a lot of fun. So we had that shout out. Love you, Marissa. That was a great time there last night. You got to have those experiences, man. I don't, the bill was a little eye-opening, but if you don't do it, you don't do it. And that's the whole thing. If you don't have experiences in your life,
I find
you don't have anything.
To each their own. Like some people, like I'm experiences over like things. What's the proper way to say that? Like instead of collecting things, I'd rather collect memories. There's a better way.
Exactly.
There's a more eloquent way to say it than things. I would imagine.
Well, yeah, way more eloquent.
But like, I'll just keep it real. Like that's what it is. But like, you can spend a ration on things. I could probably spend too much money on Lego, but I just believe memories are so much better. Like at the end of the day, that's what the people around you and that love you are gonna remember. You can.
When's the last big dinner you guys went to?
That's not our big thing. Like
that's experience. I thought you were saying that's experience.
No, but the experience for us is we like to go hiking, getting out in nature. Like we're much more that than going out to dinner.
Yeah, so are we.
So like, but that's what I'm saying. Like for us, like camping for us, like that is like that's kind of experience we like to have. And when we go hiking as a family, and again, everyone's a little bit different. Like those are the memories that we like to enjoy. We like going to museums and things like that.
Yes.
But it's just like whatever. It doesn't matter whatever it happens to be. You just find something that your family can enjoy together, and you just do that ish. You just do it. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to mention 2 things. One, bit of a weird fail here in Palantir 143, and fail's maybe not the right word, but it just broke the 143 even to make another fresh high. And this is a real wick. Like this is not some dark pool nonsense. Big volume spike, big top, and a little bit of a reversal happening in Palantir. So it looks a little distinctly different. I think you might have had just a little bit of a curl here, unless it can try to get back and press into 143. This one might be coming back in. Good strong run for Palantir, there's no question about it, but yeah, that's usually a bit of a reversal candle. And I promised I'd look at early looks. You've got MP, yeah, that's a good company. MP Materials, rare earth metals, 2 million to the buy side. Visa early look sell side. Kind of weird. You have Cliffs, 1.4 million sell. Merck, a 1.6 million to the buy side. They made a big acquisition today. Usually they'd be under pressure on a day like that. Verizon, 1 million sell. So nothing really standing out. American Airlines, 100. Actually, that's like 1 million shares. AMC, 700,000 share sell if anyone still cares about that. But early look, really MP Materials, $2 million to buy. That would be interesting. And it's still in the midst of this pullback. I think, yeah, you know what? So I know where I might put if I eventually sell that 2% of Bitcoin, which I haven't done yet. But if I do, MP, rare earth metals, maybe this is back into that 50-period moving average. The 50 and the 200 it's respecting. Now, if I do it, I'm thinking long-term. It wouldn't be a swing play. This would be like a buy and hold forever. So the fact that it's at the technicals, I probably wouldn't care that much, although it does help. But I like them. So it's a good thing it's on the imbalance locator because that might be something that I want to own. That said, you can see what's sort of been happening here with the stock. The more you have no bad news with U.S. and China relations, this kind of slides back. Like the momentum with it is if there's troubles with China, this goes up, and if things are seeming like they're smoothing out a little bit, then it starts to pull back. From a momentum standpoint, I think in the long term is the only U.S. producer for earth metals. Yeah. They're a good company to own. It's just from the momentum side of it, it's not really looking like much of a buy right now, which is interesting that it's a 2 million buy on the imbalance locator, and it's only done 4.7 million on the entire day of volume. That's it.
Yeah, just to make sure everybody doesn't think that, you know, I'm balling like crazy there. Both my kids are gone. It's the first time ever that we've had no kids. So that's why when the kids are away, the adults go out and play. So yeah, that's what it's all about, man. And you know, when I get older and stuff like that, and even in the chat, you guys are like, yeah, you got to go out and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, I obviously believe in that, but not spending a whole bunch of money, man. Don't do that too much. We went the night before that. We went and had smash burgers and fries at a local pub, at a local brewery. So we're supporting all of that as well. And I told her today, don't even think about. Well, she might make some dinner tonight, but we have other plans as well there. So okay, and then next week is Boston. And again, you want to talk about experiences. We talked about dropping 5 bills there on whale watching. So yeah, man, I mean, it is what it is. I don't sit here and trade for myself. You already know that. I trade for the family. All right, so this is SMCI. Yeah, SMCI, huge move. Wow, what a move, up to $50. So that's exactly what we had written down on our sticky note today, was that, you know, failed breakout there, wanted to go short. And yeah, so that's what we did. It failed the breakout there. We went short early. And SMCI right now, still a huge stock. I'm going to be up more on Microsoft than I am on SMCI, but it's still pretty close. And we've had reloads there and everything. The good thing about SMCI is what I'm learning more and more and more is that you want to hit it and quit it, especially some of these stocks. So most of my trading and all the bigger positions for myself will be put on in the morning. And then that's when we use the sticky note to our advantage and make these kind of plays, right? And then even right there, when SMCI came back up, I mean, that was another great opportunity there at about 12 o'clock. That's a little bit later. Was not really expecting that kind of a move, but it comes all the way back into VWAP there and the 200 period. So those were easy outs there. And yeah, the fact that we held, no surprise that we're starting to go back up to the upside as everything got turned up right here at around 48.98. Shout out to you, Michelle Meir, in the chat, who knows how to have a good time. All right, Marvell here, MRVL right now, starting to go as well. Yeah, there goes Bitcoin right now. Yeah, what a move. 110. What is the all-time high? I'm literally just. Yeah, me too. So here we go. This is this is Coinbase. No, this is Bitcoin US dollars. So I don't know, Coinbase, yeah. So it looks like it's 112 O's, like 112.25, I don't know, or so. So
that's about, yeah, it looks about
right in there. I mean, you know what? We're not going to cry over spilt milk here. I mean, if it gets through 112, it's making an all-time high. Exactly. If it gets through 11.8, like anything close, man, we're Moon City right now. So we're pretty happy with what's happening right now in the crypto space. There it goes, man. 111 right now. We said this before, like, hold on to something, man. Things have been breaking all-time highs all over the place. Bitcoin was next. It's been a little bit of a slow grind for BTC, but right now we are trying to break out. Marvell also, I just want to look at that quickly. So Delta, she talked about that earlier, and I believe there was a call for Adara. I believe incorrectly.
Well, I believe that there was a call for the all-time high, and I just went into ChatGPT because that happens to be the AI I had open. If I had something else open, I would have used that. And it says 112.50. Sorry, 500, 112.5. According to historical price charts, it hit 112.509.65 on May 22nd. So rather than eyeballing that, which I mean, eyeballing it gave you the same look, this is fantastic. I'm probably going to stink offer. It's not even a thing. It's stink bid is the thing where you throw a bid that's really far away. And it's like, hey, if there's a liquidity event, it happens. But I want to get an offer out there. Like the range, just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking, like 92 to essentially call it 112, that's about 20 thou. So I think if it makes any kind of a move in like the 15 to 18,000 range from here in like a few weeks, then I want to make sure I'm getting swept up in that at any point. So if it breaks the all-time high, then it's for sure. I'll pick like I'll pick like a stupid price, like 116,942 seems pretty cool. 116,942. That's in the teens. I want it somewhere in the 17, 18 range.
There's a lot of talk in the chat. Well, it was about this whole thing here, Dijon Mustard, teach them and they will show you the way. I think that's important, even about trading, right? I mean, some of the things that we're talking about are not going to be for everybody. You know, we completely understand that. I mean, you know, different styles, not just different styles between me and Neil. I'm just talking about like every trader has a different style at the end of the day, but it's just more about like things we're looking at, why we're thinking a certain way, because, you know, and I think it just goes to show like the way I raise, you know, my kids, and we all raise them a little differently. It's like now that they're away and they're at camp, it's like I want to teach them, you know, how to properly act so that when they go away to these places, you know, they represent the family well and represent themselves well. And I think that that's what it is for trading as well. It's not, you know, how your kids act when you're around, that's irrelevant. It's how they act outside of when your parents are there, right? And so that's, I was just bringing this back to fatherhood because shout out to that. Yeah, it's just like, no, when you're there, whatever, kids will act differently. I can tell.
Because you're
yeah, like I head coach my daughter baseball, and I coach her house league and then the all-girls rep team for High Park, the #1 team in Ontario. I can tell immediately. She acts, and her Father's Day thing was so sweet. It was like, Dad, I want you to coach me forever. But I could tell that she's a little bit of a problem when I'm sitting there coaching, and she knows that she can do certain things. And I see her when she plays hockey with those coaches there, it's like a completely different thing. Like she acts differently. She's more respectful around the hockey coaches and more disciplined and listening more to that when she's not around me, because I think when she's with me, she has a safety net that she can act a little more silly or whatever, and she'll know that like if she disrespects other coaches and I'm not around, that you know, that's something that she's not supposed to be doing. So when I was thinking about that as far as trading is concerned, it was kind of the same thing. I was thinking like, you know, we're sitting here talking about our ins and our outs and our plan of action, right? But at the end of the day, we all got to hit the keys. And we're responsible for the P&Ls that we bring home every single night. So it was just kind of like, I hope that the message that we give every day is, you know, responsibility and, you know, trusting your trading and doing the trading that you want to do, and, you know, just becoming solid at that. And then, sure, you know, we don't talk about this, but, you know, being a funded trader versus unfunded, it's just a matter of, you know, getting your strategy and getting going on that. Obviously, I was really lucky. We talked about trading penny stocks. I have the fastest, unless it's been broken, I don't know, the fastest path to funding in real trading history right there, less than 1 month.
No, there was a guy that did it in 2 weeks on the pink sheet. But it was.
There was?
Yeah, when Fannie and Freddie were going nuts, we had a guy, but he literally.
Who?
I don't even remember his name. He was gone. He was gone the month after.
Okay, so
because there was a strategy that worked for like 2 or 3 months, and a guy graduated on it and was gone within like that, because it was essentially like.
And I did it when we needed to make $5,000. Now
we could tell him what to do.
Right.
It was just like, do this.
Right.
And he did it. And
yeah. I don't know why no one else was making money, but yeah. So that's the thing. So that's the whole thing, is that I graduated with. We had to make $5,000. We did it in 1 month. I was brought in with 20 traders, and only one other trader ever made it. So I just feel lucky to be able to sit here and have that sort of quick path. But I do understand that it's it's a hard path to follow there. Started hearing ourselves in our own ears. I was like,
no, that wasn't in the ear. That was. It sounded like it was a speaker.
Ah, the speaker.
We have a speaker.
Yeah, man. Of course we have a speaker. We can hear that when we have interviews.
No, but that sounded different from the interview.
Yeah, it did.
That sounded very, very different from when we have an interview, Fabian. That was like, it was almost like it was the entire room. Just for a quick second here, the first sign of sellers just came in to Bitcoin right now, and they didn't do a very good job. It's not even like you actually don't even have a red candle here in the 3-minute, but that parabolic move just stalled a little bit at 11.3. Tried to pull back, and they're consolidating the you-know-what out of it. We have 5 minutes to the imbalances, everybody. ETH, however, is not really going as much. So, like, I feel as if Bitcoin starts to go, this could be like the easiest. Let's pull back. It is going up. If Bitcoin starts to pull back, ETH might be a very easier risk to reward fade, just because the way it's moving. If Bitcoin makes a big heavy candle, you might be able to get it short watching the IBIT and really tight, like 5 or 6 pennies to the high, like that kind of a thing. It's very, very late in the day with only 4 minutes to go to the imbalances, everybody. So usually don't like to be doing too much going into that time for sure. I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's starting to get a little bit of sell action here. And when looking at the two, I always feel if you have like a parabolic move, and you want to play the reversal, like look for the obvious one to get some sellers in there. And then while that's happening, I mean, obviously you want to have a chart up. Like I'm going to have it IBIT and the chart up over here and not be flipping back and forth. So I can just look up and see what's happening in Bitcoin. But yeah, if I start to see us close red on that 3 on IBIT, I kind of want to take a shot at ETH here. There's no chance.
Yeah.
This isn't going to have an imbalance. So you don't have to worry about the whole imbalance game here because I have yet to see, it doesn't mean it can't happen. I have yet to ever see an imbalance on one of these at 350. So I figure that's going to be a nothing burger. Why would it be? Because it's following the crypto market, which is never going to be a slave to those types of machinations. So I'm just looking for it to close 3-minute on IBIT and then take a quick little shot at a reversion. We didn't really break that all-time high. And if we're not going to break it, take the weaker name to the other side.
Take me to the other side. Okay, so 3 minutes right now. You just talked about some imbalances. And you know what? I was like, I'm starting to get out now. Like 33 will take it on Big Bear AI. Like, I don't know. I want this thing to run, but if the imbalance doesn't come in my favor, then it's a stop out. So I'm going to put the stop out right now at $7.24. If we break below that on Big Bear AI, I mean, I wish there was more happening right now, but there's not. The market's just kind of doing this. If anything, the market's been a huge long off of that, sort of this break right there, because we haven't even tested the 50-period moving average yet. So, well, we've tested it, but not broken it. So that's going to be something to watch out there. I hope this can rip up. I'm still sitting at 35s. Hopefully get something out. And then if this imbalance is what it is, which I think it should be good, then we'll be able to get something out on that imbalance. But again, if it's not, then we have that pullback as well that we can trade off of. So we'll wait to see if we get that. And on that talk as well, look, this again, we've probably, like I said, we've probably taken $10+ maybe on Microsoft so far today. And right here, right now, kind of the same thing happening for us here as we just get more out as we get close and closer to the stop out of the imbalances that are going to come through. Not that we're going to get stopped out, but the imbalances will give you movement that's unnatural to the price action that you've seen. So that's what we're going to be doing right there. So I do have, you know what, now that I see, again, like I just see Big Bear AI here. I want to put some profit not back in the pocket, but make sure that we do, you know, take this trade for what it's worth. So we'll take another 34. Oh, we get the 34. Okay. So now we're waiting at 35. Looks like another profitable trade. I myself, again, like we talk about this, I've only traded 4 symbols again here today. Big Bear AI is going to be in the pocket there. Looks like that'll be fine for us today. Microsoft, I mean, come on. Let's go with Microsoft. Nvidia, this is the craziest part about it, man. Like the amount of money that we've made on our winning trades. The losing trade here, Nvidia, the only one that we have today, is like 10 to 15% of the winning ones. So that's pretty proud of that, man. We're able to take some profit, then get out there for a small hit. And then SMCI, despite us being short, we traded it real well and were able to get out there before that bump. So that was great. And SMCI again, right there. So Microsoft and SMCI, here's the sticky note here. You know, the top 2 trades right there on my sticky note and my top 2 P&L names. So there we go right there. And then of course we add to it Big Bear AI here at the end of the day. As there it goes. We don't get there we go. Now we get that 35. Okay, Big Bear AI. Okay, 350. It's out, Neil. I don't know what those.
Intel sell 4 million. Nvidia buy 2 million. The Intel sell, that's actually a decent number. It tends to pair off though, so just be wary of that. TLT sell of 1.9. Don't usually see that. Snapchat's a sell of 1.6. I thought that was good TikTok news. IQ, that must be a small cap. 1.7 million to buy. Don't really know them. Freeport, a 1 million to the buy side. That kind of makes sense. Cleveland Cliffs as well, 1 million. So the biggest, notionally, obviously, Nvidia 2 million imbalance is more money than Intel. But Intel 4 million isn't necessarily nothing. It just always pairs off. By the way, Bitcoin made a fresh high, so obviously I'm not shorting ETH. Adara.
This isn't a major catalyst or anything, but the stock reacted a little bit, so we'll talk about it. Uber on watch here, apparently being named the official rideshare partner for the Los Angeles Olympics here in 2028. UBER, bit of a spike there. I just wanted to let you guys know about that catalyst. And this is not a report. This has been confirmed. We've also had comment from their CEO on this. Back to you.
Yeah, Bitcoin, I missed that story, my bad. But Bitcoin right there, me and Neil were just looking at each other say, well, Neil mentioned it's going to break in the after show. Yeah, maybe even before that. 11.6 right now for Bitcoin. And there she goes, man. Straight upside right now on BTC as, you know, you don't have to tell us about this. We actually put we could do let's do a last minute poll. Do you own Bitcoin? If we could put that in there. Yeah, it's just a yes or no. It's nothing funny or anything like that.
Can we only have 9 minutes? Can we only have 9 minutes? Let's do it the simple way. If you own Bitcoin, type 1 in the chat.
No.
I want to see, or just put Y or yes or no. Put yes or no. Yes or no in the chat.
Calculating that.
It's all yes, man.
Yeah, no, it's not. There it is. This is the better way. Okay, you guys do that. We want the chat flooded because it's better for everybody. It's better for us. But here we go. Thank you, Andre, for that one. So now we'll be able to tally it. Yes or no. Remember, just a couple of months ago, it was severely no. So let's go and wait. See, there it is right now, 50-50 again. So, hence, why we do the poll right there. Now we can actually see. So there it goes, man. 50-50. So again, man, good. Thanks to Andre for getting that up so fast. But there it goes. So it's surprising. This is why I'm long Bitcoin.
It's higher than last time.
Yeah. This is why, as it should be. This is why I'm a pretty decent, trying to buy dip owner of Bitcoin. I still think it's under-owned. So this is a trading show. We have less than half. Or around half. That number will flip. It'll be more no by the end. But half right now if you own Bitcoin. Interesting there. So, we'll just, as opposed to maybe we'll do half of you. Well, if anyone has mutual funds, then you pretty much own indexes.
But that's the problem. Like, it's if you own down in the States, like, well, I'll just say retirement account. Just keep it simple. If you own a retirement account or like a tax-free savings, you guys don't have that, but I guess your Roth IRA is the same. If you're in those, you probably own the indexes to some extent. So those questions aren't as interesting. But the other thing is, I'm just kind of curious. Do you hold physical Bitcoin still, or do people have the ETFs now? That would be one question that's interesting. As we just made another fresh high, we're now, at least according to ChatGPT, $800 away from an all-time high in Bitcoin. That's according to ChatGPT. Now 650.
No, they're correct.
I thought it's 112.5. It's not 112.5?
Did you see a chart of that?
No, I just look.
No, they're wrong.
Honestly, I just looked it up. I just typed it into ChatGPT, and I'm like, whatever. Or you can eyeball it on the chart. So it's not.
No, we just did it.
But it could. You know what? Sometimes what they do is some random exchange could have printed at that price, and the big ones didn't. So that's probably what happened. Because there'll be like a dozen different highs.
I don't. Yeah. There it is right there. So if you're going by a respectable thing, 112 O's. I was saying 026, 30, something like that. So yeah, man. Again, it doesn't. Whatever. Once we break through 112, I think it's game on. So it's on like Donkey Kong. Right there. So yeah, congratulations, man, to everybody out there trading crypto. Microsoft just, by the way, BBAI, let's go, man. Spin it one more time for Money Gang, because there it goes, man. We'll basically go we'll go 3 for 3 today with the small hit on Nvidia. So 3 for 4 with something that I'm just being honest with, and that's an L. But you know, we kind of shrug that one off. But all right, let's go over and see what Neil's talking about.
And let's talk a little bit about Trade the Pool and the behind-the-scenes look that you can get, because they're diving into the community side over at Trade the Pool. As you know, each trader gets their own hub, and inside there, you're going to be able to find the Trade Talk feature. It's a powerful analysis space with charting as well, where you can map out your strategies, break down some setups, share your predictions with the overall community. And if you're looking for more real-time action, the Trade the Pool Discord is where you're able to get it. It's full of active traders sharing their insights so that you're not trading alone, getting tips so you can all grow together. Trade the Pool, you're not going to be trading by yourself. You're going to be with a firm that invests in your growth, technically, mentally, and financially. Head to tradethepool.com or scan the QR code on the screen. Shout out to them. Shout out to our good friend Mitch, who is, I don't know if he's in anything Bitcoin related. If I had to guess, he's, I don't know, most traders are.
Let me guess, he's long, whatever.
There's a red candle. I was about to say, like, we just hit 355. Not that it matters. 355 doesn't make a difference, but it was almost exactly as a bunch of things started to pair off there. Like, you don't see Apple's 1 million, but you don't see Nvidia there anymore. You don't see Intel on the imbalance locator. The timing, I don't think matters, but that's exactly when it seems like we made a bit of a top there. So rejecting just underneath 112, although rejecting is a subjective term because it's not really pulling back all that far. Let's be real. Thank you for the super chat here, David. Market makers are the bane of my existence this week. Ethereum and Hood friends. And market makers, they have a job to do, but it used to really like the market makers when most of the market making was not done by algos. I'll leave it at that. Because I found like market makers actually there was some edge to the market makers that was just different. Like, it was just different. So like love them or hate them, it's hard for me. Like, back in the day, we loved them, and now some people hate market makers. But you want liquidity in the market, so it's a kind of a double-edged sword there. So as I said, Intel paired off, Nvidia paired off, Bitcoin. Maybe we make another run at the high. I feel as if we're going to have an all-time high watch party in addition to the aftermarket show in just a few minutes.
Yeah, make sure you join Adara and Neil for that one. And there it is, man. As we predicted right there, Bitcoin, the nose starting to win. So, yeah, man, maybe you guys will get excited or into it once it breaks. And some people just don't believe in it. I think it's all kind of smoke and mirrors, but it doesn't matter. If there's more buyers than sellers, price go up. So there it goes right there. So yeah, man, and to your comment, David, I am loving market makers right now. I'm trading probably the best I ever have. So if market makers are in this market, then shout out to you guys. And but okay, so there it is, man. BBAI to end the day here at $7 and change right now. So I'm going to get another piece out right here and hopefully get taken out by a market maker, but they won't. They'll be idling liquidity, not wiping these levels out. So hopefully someone will come in and buy this 738 right there, and we'll put that in our pocket there again. So yeah, man, so far so good. And we're not making a whole bunch on Big Bear AI, but what we have made here is basically what we lost on Nvidia. So there we go. So that's a nice move there as well. But heading into the close now, only 2 minutes left. We can have a quick look at these imbalances and see what's going on. I didn't even look at them today because I was focusing on other things. But there it is right there. MP again and Visa. So Visa still with a decent sell right there. We can watch that as we head into the close. It just might have paired off as it just ticked up a little bit higher there. 358 and change right now. But yeah, all eyes right now on BTC as that 12 and change high. But basically, I think 12,075 maybe was what we sort of saw there on Coinbase. Some other people
What's the breaks the even?
Some people putting out different things on there right there. So yeah, man, whether or not you were green or red today, I hope you enjoyed the show with 1 minute left.
Yeah, with only a minute to go here, it looks like cancel the last script order that I had. I had a script order on ETH in case it set up that short trade, but I'm obviously not going to take it with under a minute to go. Obviously, Bitcoin is going to be the big story today with the late move. It's certainly on everybody's minds. I just want to, just a friendly reminder that PLTR, because we didn't really go over that. Last time I looked at it, I was telling you guys that it had failed that 143 break. Well, it bounced, and it looks like, unless something crazy happens in the next 30 seconds, we're going to close at that 143. So with only about 20 seconds to go in here, we're going to get there on the bell. I'm going to join you at the desk in just a little bit. I want to see where we close specifically on Bitcoin, but I wanted to point out that, hey, it might have stolen the attention, but Palantir did make another fresh high of the day.
Let's go.
So let's get to the bell in about 10 seconds or so. I feel like we're gonna ring the bell and then get a bit of a rally on Bitcoin, hopefully. But let's ring it, Adara. It's your hump day, it is ETH day, it's Bitcoin day, and probably actually a lot of other crypto is going. And as a matter of fact, catching a little bit of a bid, not a crazy candle, but a little bit of a bid coming here in the aftermarket for IBIT. So I'm gonna mosey on up to the desk, join Darren and myself. Maybe we get a bit of a watch party. There's a lot to cover today, a lot happened today, a lot to cover, but we'll certainly be talking a lot about crypto, and any movements, we're right there for you. I'll see you in a bit.
All right, yeah, good. See ya. All right, good job there. Yeah, look, we're actually still in some Microsoft right now. Just very, very light there. Market close. I had to deal with Big Bear AI. Big Bear AI turned out to be that stock. So there it is right there, man. Big Bear AI, alert, alert, alert. I got out at 7:38, 7:37 near the end of the day. So again, thank you to everybody for watching here today. Big days. Well, I had a big day and it was a good one. So I hope everyone enjoys it. Intel closes near the highs today as well. No talk on Apple. We'll look to see what happens there. Nice moves for Snapchat today again on news. Apple, look at that move there at the end of the day. You take a look at that right there. Huge move for Apple up to 211. So we'll see. We talked about tomorrow's trade today. This could be candidate there, AAPL. So yeah, man, it's been a good one, obviously, here as we continue to monitor the market. Not huge earnings, but there is earnings out right now. So let's get ready to go. There goes crypto right now. It's about to break that 11,112 area where the players do, in fact, dwell. We just got out of our Microsoft right there for $3.50 to end the day, putting up probably about $12 or so in total shares earnings on that stock. So far, so good on that one. But again, it's news. It's the market recap show. I'm back tomorrow. Only 2 more days and I'm gone for a week. So hope you guys enjoy this recap show with Neil and Adara. I'll see everybody tomorrow and gonna go make some more experiences with the wife. Ciao.
Welcome, everybody. It's your market recap show. And like Sean said, Bitcoin making a run at its all-time highs. I mean, you can see here, IBIT, we're just teetering. We're so very close. Like, you go up a couple of points and we're going to get a bit of a breakout. But a lot happened today and some news really at the bell as well, Adara, that I know you want to dive into. We don't have any major earnings, but there's a lot to recap and a lot of movement that we have to go through. Yeah,
I want to really quickly get into Autodesk here. ADSK, this one dropped into the close. Bloomberg reporting that the company is apparently considering acquiring a software firm called PTC. And apparently they're working with advisors to evaluate the potential cash and stock deal. As we usually see here, PTC, which is not a small stock here, guys, not a penny stock. It's like a $200 ticker, pushing to the upside on this news. And then on the flip side, we have ADSK dropping here. Usually the acquirer drops, the company being acquired, which is higher. I'm also seeing headline, apparently, U.S. clothing imports hitting a 22-year low, clothing imports from China specifically, but I want more details on that before I speak too much on it. I also want to mention here LNG. This is going to be Cheniere Energy. Apparently, they're seeking approval from the Department of Energy to export liquefied natural gas from Sabine Pass Phase 5. They're also proposing an additional 12 million metric tons to some different countries. So keep an eye on LNG, PTC, and ADSK.
Yeah, always watch out. Like, anytime you get really, really massive deal making, and the synergies matter and it can be good for the business, but almost carte blanche, you're going to get a sell-off in the acquire. If it's a massive, massive outlay and they're raising a little bit of debt or they're using shares, you're going to see that happen. And you saw that happen with CoreWeave as well. So we haven't made any breakout just yet. I'm just going to show you guys as we're watching IBIT in particular. If we can come to the chart for a second, just still kind of pulling back a little bit on Bitcoin. Big technical rally to challenge the all-time high on Bitcoin that was able to drag a lot of things with it, right? Like we were talking a little bit about ETH which also made a nice little run here, nowhere near its highs. I mean, I can pull up the daily chart. I mean, you got to get, you're talking like the 4,000 level, so you're nowhere close on ETH, but starting to join that party. But what's also interesting is, you know, you're going to have MicroStrategy in here starting to really go again. Now, keep in mind, like these guys are like the old Bitcoin proxy. MicroStrategy's high is like 20-something% away. It's not even at the lower high resistance yet with Bitcoin breaking out. So I think if this breaks simultaneously, it's almost like it's got more room to squeeze and could be a better percentage mover in the event that there is this breakout. And if we challenge like 120s and 125s, I could really see this maybe giving you some better opportunities. But so far, it hasn't really broken out any of that resistance on the daily MicroStrategy. But I'm certain there's a lot of traders and investors, swing traders, that are going to be watching this for an opportunity if we get that all-time high break. Shouldn't say when we get that all-time high break, which it might be. Maybe it's today, maybe it's over the weekend. I kind of feel like we'll make a run at it tonight at some point, whether it happens in the first half an hour. When you're a 24-hour market, which is what Bitcoin is, sometimes those big runs happen when a lot of the the eyes of the market aren't on it as much. So I could see that easily happening here. But MSTR has got to be on your watch while this move is happening.
Oh yeah, and I mean, as someone who trades spready tickers, and I really love MSTR as well, this is certainly something I'm watching. I actually pulled back to the chart, and yeah, I remember when we touched that 430, which is like by far the most recent high. Sorry, I have plugged power up because someone in the chat, Darwin, mentioned they had an offering. I'm not seeing any news on it yet, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. But yeah, I'll pull up MSTR on the daily. I know you just did, but there is one thing I want to talk about here as well. That 430 level. So I actually remember this day. I do have the eidetic memory, which helps, but I remember this 430 short, because basically what happened was it double topped it, like it tapped it twice off the open, and then just tanked from there. So 430, beyond the fact that it is like obviously a $10 level, whole dollar level, those are always significant. It is also a little bit lower than our other previous high around 439. So I think MSTR really needs to be like to that 430. It needs to like rocket style high kick that thing, or I don't really know. MSTR is a very violent stock. And again, I say this as someone who trades this pretty frequently. It's very much within my oeuvre of types of tickers I look at. That being said, I agree with you with that triple bottom on the daily. Then we have this nice little, it's not really a cup and handle, but it's a nice little like bibby rounded thing here. So either way, there are some definitely long opportunities, but that 430, I just want to let people know. The last time we got in there, things got a little cray-cray. So yeah, 430 would be absolutely a level that I'm watching. And then of course, if we break that, the next previous area of resistance, as I mentioned, around 439. There was another company, sorry, I just mentioned this last time as well. We have another offering on watch, PCYO, filing for a mixed shelf offering of up to $400 million, not moving too much on that.
Yeah, that plug, there is a note saying there's an offering, but it has to be wrong, because like what came across the wire, Plug Power files for offering up to 31.5, they must mean million, but it says 31.5 shares of common stock. Now I'm just gonna make the assumption that someone forgot to throw in that it's not literally 31, it's gotta be in the millions, because the float of this thing, 930 million shares, like it could be, I don't wanna speculate, but they've clearly got the number wrong. So it seems there is a story about an offering on Plug, but no clue as to how big it is at this particular point. So I just want to keep that in mind, everybody. And when you don't know, like, you don't want to be sit there speculating. I'm just telling you, it says 31.5. That's obviously wrong, but we don't know what the actual number is going to be. But take a look. You guys can see the ETFs on the slide. You see the one that I just clicked? XBI closing at the highs. Now, a good portion of this, you had a relief rally in some of the pharmaceutical names, despite the fact that Merck made a huge acquisition today. You're going to actually, this is not usually how this looks. Merck with a huge acquisition today, an all-cash deal, and it went up. So you better believe that it's going to be a strong day for the index when that happens. That is the opposite of what you are usually expecting when there's a big cash outlay. And what could be going on here is everyone's been saying it, so I just repeated some crap that I hear all the time when you listen to any analysts out there, is that in the next couple of years, all these guys have these big shelves that are coming for their patents, which are going to drop off. I believe Merck's, they're canceling Keytruda. I hope I'm right about that.
I need to look more into that.
I think I'm right, but in a couple of years, that pattern's is going to die out. And for a lot of the big names, Pfizer has some big ones that'll come out in a couple of years. They need revenue sources. And so everyone's been saying a lot of times, you don't have the right things in the pipeline, they've got to make up that revenue, and there's going to be acquisitions. And so when they do that, and maybe it's bottomed out, and the reaction is, this is now happening, it's a good sign because they've hit the bottom. So the usual reaction of sell the acquire just didn't happen here. And Merck, I hate to say it, it's starting to look good. Let me actually just get the old tool out here and quickly draw what is obviously a trend which has been broken at the 50 period and is now starting to go. Usually you're waiting a couple of days after a big deal for it to bottom out. In this case, it's weird. I'd be waiting a couple of days for it to consolidate on a breakout. Merck looking good despite that massive acquisition today.
Yeah, so keep an eye here on WK Kellogg, KLG. Apparently, Ferrero is nearing a roughly $3 billion deal to buy Kellogg. People had mentioned this moving a little bit earlier. The news just populated for me now, so I'm sharing it. I saw it first populate 24 seconds ago. But Wall Street Journal reporting that Ferrero is nearing a $3 billion deal, acquisition deal here for WK Kellogg. This is our second reports of a possible acquisition today. The first involved ADSK and its possible acquisition of, I believe, company called PTC. But yeah, keep an eye here on ADSK. That is what's happening there with this stock. Yeah, in terms of Merck, I looked into it, Neil. They're not canceling Keytruda. They're scrapping 2 late-stage trials of it in, I guess, being used in certain types of cancers.
But that is their drug, right?
Yeah, that is their drug.
Good.
Yeah, I knew that.
Their patent runs out, I believe, in 2028. I think so. Basically, what happens is like when you have these big drugs, like you essentially. You don't profit on it forever, right? And unfortunately, sorry, I had that KLG stock up. Like, unfortunately for the Pfizers and Mercks, you spend so much money developing and failures and trials and all that, and so they milk it for as much as they can for the period of time in which they will depend. And then all of a sudden, anybody can just take the formula and make your drug, and they can sell it. And so when you've got a big one like Keytruda, like they gotta milk it, but everybody has seen it coming, and that's why like the stocks has been dwindling. You've seen the same. Pfizer's a little bit different because a lot of it's dropped, which is COVID rally, and then it just dropped back in. But that's sort of, it's a problem for them. But I like the reaction of the stock is the first thing when we see what just happened today with the big acquisition. The fact that it went up, I think, is definitely a good thing. Just do it in the chat. Doing it on Circle. Before I get to that, I just want to circle back. The Bitcoin? Well, the watch is still on pullback. So we did have a little bit of a drop there. Bitcoin pulling back a little bit. So the all-time high break, maybe it'll wait. You know what? It's actually, from a selfish standpoint, it's a little bit more fun if it happens during the live show when we're actively trading and we can maybe punch long some IBIT. The last time it did an all-time high break, I believe it was during the midday and Joe was on it. And certainly, we're all trading it. It was just during the midday show, so Joe was on it. I think hopefully if we get something tomorrow, it'll be just as exciting. But on that note, I'm glad Circle got mentioned. Because in the midst of what happened to CoreWeave yesterday, and for the last 2 days since the deal, and specifically yesterday, it's a bigger down move, it got, like, Circle's been forgotten about because Circle was the recent IPO that was stealing everybody's hearts and blowing away all of the shorts. And then it turned out that, at least for a couple of days, the attention went over to CoreWeave that moved more. But Circle had its own interesting event, breaking out in a big, big way at the open. Like, it's one of those failed breaks at the open and then trend back in. I wanted to start there so you can see that little failed break and then maybe go back over to the daily chart. Now, you don't have a lot of data here, but like just there would be this little upward trend, and there you kind of work off the highs. I think it broke the downtrend here, which is, like however you want to draw it. I don't really care. You could draw it you could draw it like this way, and it's still broken the downtrend. So I don't think this is as clean of a, hey, let's look at this wedge here and the trend to the upside and just short it when it breaks down. I actually think it almost has to extend the uptrend a little further or show me a bit of a hammer candle, because I think the continuation play on Circle would make a little bit more sense than trying to catch it after it's already rejected $100 away. Now I'm talking from the standpoint of Circle eventually heads back down under $100 because it's ridiculous. I'm not talking about the day trade here. I'm sort of thinking about when everyone thinks, how is it going to look when it unwinds? It doesn't feel like, despite the candle here today, and the daily chart looks like a big rejection. When you pull it out, sorry, the 3-minute chart looks like a rejection. When you look at the daily here, it doesn't really feel like that much has happened on this little reversal of an up move. I think there is a time that will be coming for the unwind, but I'm not sure it's here just yet.
I'm actually going to provide a counter.
Ooh,
I'm sorry. I'm going to provide a
counter.
counter.
You think it's happening now?
Pardon?
You think it's happening now?
Well, I just want to show my chart on it. This is one that Neil can say I've definitely been asking for shares for this basically every day for shorts. So lately what I've been doing, because I found it to be more helpful for me, one of the issues that I had was just like, being too flippant. Pardon, this is definitely a pun because I would be, too quick to flip directions. So what I started doing was now I have, I'll write down the stocks I'm looking at, just like trade ideas, right? Like what direction would I take it? How would I execute? So for Circle, I had a long idea and a short idea for this, and that was all based, as you can see here, on this 15-minute uptrend. So this is kind of where we were pre-market. I was like, okay, if we break above yesterday's high, this 809 area, 209 area, I'll go long, no problem. Then we'll push higher into here. But I also was very cognizant of this AVWAP from all-time highs, which is this top red line here. So with all of that being said, I totally missed the long off the open. I was like, oh, well. Then I saw us, though, rejecting this AVWAP. So I said, okay, Adair, you have another opportunity. Now I'm going to bring in my trade on this. So we basically, we reject the AVWAP from all-time highs. We break below. Like I said, 209 was my level I liked in the long, 209. The same thing. If we can't hold it, I'm going to short it. So I shorted 209. I gave this 5 points, which for a stock of this ilk, I have zero problem doing. You really didn't even need to. I think it went like 1 point against me. So we drop here, we break another level of prior support, this 204.50, I add again, start taking some profits here at 203, add one more time here at this 201. You could argue it was excessive, but I stand by it, just how the chart was going. Eventually, take more profit at 199, get stopped out at just shy of 201s. I got back in, which I didn't really need to, and then got stopped out basically flat. But the point with this is, like, if you're going to decide you want to flip directions, have a plan for that, because I actually favored the long this morning. If you look at my notes, I was prepared to allot myself more risk on the long than the short, but when the short came in, I was ready to go. So yeah, I just think sometimes you have to play devil's advocate with yourself and your ideas. And yeah, sorry for that rant, but I would say, Neil, I don't know necessarily the short is continuing, but I think this AVWAP rejection from all-time highs is pretty sketchy looking. 194 for me is a level that I think lately has been resistance support. If you break below 194, then I think we can grind lower.
Well, you know what, we don't disagree, because I think the short's at the day trade level at this particular point. I just don't think the short is at it's going to $100 and losing 50% in a matter of weeks. I think someone in the chat said that they're looking for the puts. I think you said in the chat August puts, or a little further out for a more extreme type of play. I think that's what Circle's into, but I agree with you. And one of the things that I like about this is one of the best reversal setups is when a stock does a parabolic pre-market move. Parabolic pre-market move that has this and sold off at the open for continuation. And I love Robinhood. But Robinhood, can we see it on the 15-minute? Yeah, of course you can see it on the 15-minute. Robinhood had this exact same setup. Like look at the parabolic move, like on this day and here. Like you're gonna see in the pre-market, we're at about 8:30, and it just rallies on a clean break. It goes from 94 into 95. It actually breaks and wicks it to 98. But by the time you get, this is now 9:30. It's given this topping tail candle. Look at the reversal short. That is one of those A+, and believe me, there's hedgies out there that love that type of trade, like the big guys, where you're getting all like the retail buy in the pre-market. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a continuation play into the open. It's breaking out this level. Buy. You get to the open and you're losing the breakout spot. And then that's like just slam short. And if you're ready for it, or if you happen to be in the long and you get stopped out on the way back in, sometimes you can flip into the short. At the bare minimum, you got to get out the long. And I'm only saying this because I was in the long breakout and got the win, but didn't reverse. And so like that was one of the things that I realized, hey, maybe you got to be a little faster to reload. That if we're just also looking, because I just saw in the chat TT777. just said Robinhood over 100 after earnings. Well, you've got time because they're end of the month, right? So Robinhood reports the 30th, so you got about 3 weeks to go, and it's pretty much like you're at 95. So I can see it as well. I still believe Robinhood's in a consolidation phase, so you got to watch out here because when you're in a consolidation phase, you can always break either direction, and a healthy pullback, like literally healthy pullback, could be into the 70s, and it would still be looking fantastic on a higher time frame. So you just got to keep that in mind with some of these parabolic movements. I believe we have more tariff news, Adara?
Yep. Percent tariff on Brazil as announced here by President Donald Trump. So what he said this morning was he was going to give us 7 tariff letters this morning and then more later in the day. Technically, he gave us 6 this morning and then 1 right after 12 p.m., so more or less the same. This is the next round. He didn't say how many tariffs are going to be in this round, but lately he's been releasing them in bulk of 7, which makes me think there's going to be 7. We'll have to find out here. More pieces of news. GLTR, apparently they're announcing a $2.5 billion buyback, actually pushing to the upside on this, of course. Then we have Costco announcing their June sales up 8% year over year, also pushing to the upside. So yeah, I also want to thank very much here. We've got Kelvin GTS in the chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Saying Adara is so good at explaining things for an idiot to understand. Thank you. I don't know about that, but thank you very much for the kind words. I love being here. You're also asking here, when can you see me trade like Sean and the crew? Is it Studio 8? Truthfully, I don't know. Honestly, you know, I'll sometimes put my trades in the chat here. I just got a new X account, TraderTV Adara L, which I've been trying to update when I can. And then also sometimes I'll show my trades live on the midday or during the show. But yeah, I'm definitely open to that. If that does happen or if that's in talks, I'll absolutely will let you guys know. But either way, you can always like message me. I'm not always in the chat, but when I am, then yeah, I can keep you posted. Oh, Kelvin GTS, another $5 super chat. Can we get an Adara position board when she does the news at least? Again, I honestly am not the person to ask. I'm just here. It's happy to be here with you guys. But thank you very much for the kind words and the support. It is really appreciated. Yeah, I'm always happy to be here and trading with you guys.
Oh, one thing I was going to say, and I thought of this because you're wearing the purple. On your charts, I know we do this on our charts just so it's way easier for everyone to see the executions because green candles and red candles. Oftentimes, if we change the color so that if it's a short sell, it's purple, the triangle. And then, because the defaults are like this weird blue and yellow, which don't show up very well on the charts.
That's why I changed mine.
And so, like, make sure you change. I don't know if you're using the purple for the short.
I have the lilac purple. Okay, I have a more aesthetic. Yeah.
I just find I find myself squinting a little bit. I'm
that's
like
fair.
To see the entry point because it's always important. Like it's like this is the entry. When you have a good one, you want to make sure everybody sees it. Also, good reminder that Costco had their numbers out.
Yes.
Because Costco was actually not looking too good today. Like overall, like Costco actually, and you're coming right back in. Costco was selling off for the majority of the day. Not a huge move, but just went back green on those numbers. So this is, look, it's a great company. Obviously, it's not doing a heck of a lot right now. You would have seen a little bit of pressure on this recently when it tried to attack those all-time highs, but it's basically in a consolidation phase. But the good news is now that daily, like this daily candle, like look at the hold at 975 on Costco. You start to see hold it, and then these bottoming tail candles. That just means every time intraday it tries to retest this low. There's your program selling for multiple days. There's your bottom at 975. Every time it tries to retest this low, the buyers come in and close it back above 980. So what's happening is it gets into that 975 support. Someone's got a buy program on, or just, institutions are buying them, whoever, doesn't really matter. Algos, whoever it is, that's not the point. You're starting to hold it and close it above 980. That's a positive sign. When you want to look for those types of things to be making a bottom on the daily and then try to break it back out. Now, most people are probably looking for swings on Costco or just holding in their long term. You're not likely to day trade it unless you're Adara.
Yeah,
and the reason I'm pointing it out is the way to day trade that is if you notice this pattern on the daily, you just make the bet that, okay, once I see it drop beneath $980, I'm anticipating buyers like to come in around 975. So it drops. Once it's under 980, you're just looking for like a mean reversion, any trend break. If you take a shot here, you get a scalp trade. It breaks low again. There's another trend break here, a much better trend break, and then you can take. Oh, I don't have my tool on. Anyways, draw it like that. There's your trend line. There's another trend break. And then you just bet that it's going back to close above the 980 level. And so sometimes you zoom out to the higher time frame, see what the big money is doing overall. It can be useful for investing if you just wanted to buy Costco for your long term and you want to get a good price. It can be useful for swing trading. But on a day trade, when you see those bottoming tail candles, then you know what it means and you wait for it to get under that price. Once you see the trend revert, okay, the sellers come off, the algo buyings come on, the institutions are back in. You just join them, put your stop either at the low or back at like the 75, whatever you happen to like, and you can get yourself a trade. You have to have such a good plan of action and execute with a very tight execution plan when you're trading something that's like a $1,000 stock. That's for sure. But I know we were thinking that we were going to get that all-time high. I'm just going to circle back.
We did, apparently. Someone in the chat was saying we did for Bitcoin. I think it like wick just slightly higher.
Did we?
It's above 112K at one point from what I'm seeing. But again, different things use different population times, right? So as far as I can tell, looks like we maybe touched it, maybe double topped it. But yeah, thank you to Dave in the chat saying that we should be looking at Bitcoin or mentioning the all-time highs. Again, it's a little, some people are saying we did. It's a little unclear. We're near it anyway.
You have to remember, as we were saying, like when you're looking at the price of Bitcoin, like there's even sometimes like you could go between like Binance and some of the other big, you could look at Binance and Coinbase and have just slightly different prices in the highs. And then you go to some other exchanges and they're even way off. So it's not always that simple. But whether you got there or not, like maybe you just tagged it, what's very clear when you look at the chart of IBIT is you didn't have any buying through it. Right? This is a 3-minute. You didn't close any candles above, that's for sure. Like you essentially wake the top and pull back, which is fine. Like I don't mind it pulling right back. Like when you have a gorgeous looking potential breakout, we can take our time. And that's when it's good, sometimes taking your time is even better. Like how long did we wait for it to break this high? And then it's like we got a tease. And then we got a big pullback. But then how gorgeous was it when it eventually broke? Sometimes that's the way you want it to go. Like if you want to get that parabolic move, sometimes if it doesn't go the first time, it's a little bit better because you shake out some of the weaker hands and then the second break gives you even more. I mean, why not talk? Palantir is a perfect example of that today. See, like there's always something happening. Even on like a lower time frame, everyone wanted, like I was all about Palantir 140, right? I had Palantir 140 multiple times. Did it work here? Nope. Did it work here? Kind of. Did it work here? Yeah, I'd say so. To the point that you could continue on. Palantir was a great stock for long today, multiple entry points on Palantir. So with Bitcoin, I don't mind that we pull back and just test the high and make some higher lows and maybe even consolidate a little bit longer. It just makes it more exciting when the break eventually does happen because we're going to break the all-time high. We didn't come all this way to not do it.
Yeah.
Steal a line from Luca, by the way.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Luca's cool. Yeah, I met him a couple times. He said he's a cool guy. We have a super chat here from David Treziak, $20 super chat. Meow, what's next tomorrow? Think the hood is going to go crazy, friends. I disagree, Neil, about the pullback quite yet. So thank you, David Treziak, for the super chat. Apparently a fan here of Robinhood. So you're going to have to wait and see. I think that the OpenAI thing with them is pretty interesting with those tokenized stocks. Now, of course, like Elon has bigger things to deal with than respond on behalf of SpaceX. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. But yeah, we did have Vlad Tenev coming out there and saying after OpenAI criticized this and said this is not equity, then we had Vlad Tenev doing an interview who basically said they're cool, I guess, with Europe. They're all good there. I mean, either way, I don't think investors were too freaked out about it beyond that initial post-market reaction.
For the record, I never said it was going to pull back.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just reading the super chat.
Yeah, just to be clear, all I simply said was it could pull back to under 80 and still be healthy on the daily chart. That's what I said. This could pull back right into like under $80, right into here, and still look fantastic. And generally speaking, pull it out to a weekly chart. Here's how you know. Look at a weekly. On a weekly chart, the prior high is 66. So, I mean, a pullback into the underneath $80 still looks absolutely gorgeous. That's all I was getting at. Like, I really don't even have, I'm pretty sure I said it, that I don't even have an opinion as to which way this consolidation breaks before earnings come out. And honestly, like I selfishly am hoping it breaks down. And I might sell some Bitcoin to put it into Hood, as I was mentioning in the afternoon show. But yeah, I'm not even making a bet on which direction I think this consolidation breaks. But I think it's still perfectly healthy if this one pulls back even a little bit further, which is absolutely fine for sure. Just a shout out to Go Bills, because I mean, A, Go Bills, and B, we like to answer questions on the chat. I believe we did talk about KLG. Adara brought the story. Was it? So this is, was it cash?
I have no details.
Okay, so there were no details. I'm glad.
Same with the Autodesk thing with PTC as well. Both are just rumored
buyouts, of a deal,
and so reports of buyouts, but no confirmation that I'm seeing, and no specifications. $3 billion deal for Kellogg, but I don't know how that's going to sort out.
I'm quickly gonna jump. There's a website I use for buyouts all the time, and they have no data either. So yeah, there's like I trade some buyouts, and there's a website that they're only ever going to post it. Alpha Rank, they're fantastic, but they only really are going to post it once the deal is finalized. That's how I know if it's finalized, it's on that website, and if they haven't, then you know there's no details yet. And you don't want to speculate just because it's consolidating around a price that, oh, this must be the value of the deal. That's a bad way to approach things, because sometimes they get it wrong, and I've seen this before. Stock gaps up on deal speculation, consolidates, everyone's like, oh, it's probably $26 because that's where it is. Or maybe it's like 27. And then it gets announced the next day, maybe it's cash in stock and the fair value is like $24.50 or $25, which is still a lot in the money, but anybody that bought it in the afternoon or the aftermarket on that takes a big haircut, because now all of a sudden you can't even hold it till the deal closes because you'd still be out of the money. And so you want to be very careful trading these to the long side for continuation when you don't know what the details might be. I can't believe it's 4:30 already.
How is it?
What? Fabian usually does like there's the siren that comes up when we run over time. So usually I get the warning when we've been rambling on, but hey, we're having fun. Yeah. Bitcoin watch party. Actually, a lot of news, talking over some trading strategies. Yeah. That's what we do around here for sure. Thank you guys for the super chat. David, thanks for the super chat as well. Appreciate you. For everyone else's sake, I certainly hope that Hood doesn't go to the downside. I'm just, sometimes you're honest. It's like I don't own any Robinhood and I'd like to, but I want to sell some Bitcoin and buy some of that. So I'm kind of hoping breakout Bitcoin, and then eventually maybe even get a dip on Robinhood that I can take advantage of, and maybe a little shifting in my portfolio. So that's just me being selfish. I'd never want a stock to go down. Not that other people own. Let's be real about it. Like, it's happier when it goes up because I want people to make money, just like we all should. But it is time to get a little bit of roll call action in here because we're past 4:30, everybody. If you don't know what roll call is, and you haven't been tuning in, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. Make sure you hit the like, but more importantly, the subscribe, so you can be in the chat, so Adara can rhyme off as fast as she can as many of the awesome nicknames like Mike Peter Ryder in there. And so hit the chat up, give a big shout out to our entire team. You know the drill, everybody. Adrian, Ramin, maybe Fabian, even though he didn't warn me, we're past 4:30. Andre, I keep saying Adrian. It's Andre. My roommate in university, anyways, Andre reminds me of my roommate from university in Temperament, and his name is Adrian, so I'm always mixing them up. Anyways, it's just, you say one name over and over again. Yeah. Big shout out to Sean. Big shout out to Brendan, who is back from his trip, the Midday boys as well, everybody. But let's get some roll call action on. Yeah,
thank you to Greg Moore. Thank you to Dan H, Cowboy Mike, Chuck of All Trades, Mr. Thumbs Up, D-Loaf, Why Not, NYC Urban Aset, Stevenson Etienne, Roger Noonan, Jaguar, Susie Fox, nephew with capital P, Al Gorilla, I love that name. We've got Mike Peter Ryder, we have D-Loaf, we've got Vincy Life, we've got Neil Roberts in the chat, Marty, Ryan O'Day, Butter Biscuit Head, Go Bills, Mr. Briggs, Apple Manny, Tilly 3Y, Moon Rockets Products, Alvin, and Healing Pain Naturally. Thank you so much to Neil, Sean, Sharif, Joe, Brendan, Andre, Ramin, Fabian, and all of you guys here, everyone you see, everyone you don't see, thank you for making this community what it is. And guess what? There's going to be more news and maybe more tariffs tomorrow. We only actually saw one release tonight, which is kind of uncharacteristic for Trump. So yeah. I assume in a couple hours we'll probably get some more. But yeah, that's our show, and definitely join us tomorrow, please, and thank you.
That's a good point. We're going to hear some more because we're expecting more than one. But there's always more to be happening. And hopefully everyone enjoys the show because we're doing it again tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8:30. We're Trader TV Live. Go Bitcoin, and we'll see you in the morning.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.